Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am Gat, your host. The viewer on the left requested a analysis of the birth natal charts of two of the members of her family, the family she was born into. She's going to get information and also past life information. So I did prepare that as well on reports. And we're doing all kind of reports now. We're doing reports of numerology, everything. That's why I always tell people, never limit what this channel does, because we do anything in these areas. So we've been learning a lot lately on this channel about past lives, because even on those reports are only going to deal with her retrogrades. But see, most of us have lived more than one past life, so there's different ways to see past life on your chart. So that's what we're really going to be looking at on each chart. And I always say this, but it's always good to pay a lot of attention and take a lot of notes if you can. The reason being because you have 3 charts. And if you notice, you see a lot of auras, a lot of retrogrades. And that's only going to be one area of past life. So ultimately, we will get to the bottom of everything, but sometimes you have to listen. And I'm just going to be a forthwith with you. You have to understand, people think it's all about what you believe and all that, but some of it's not just belief, some of it is facts. Like a guy like me, I've been doing this for decades. It's just a fact. I'm sorry that we live in a world where people want to be dumbed down and they'd rather go somewhere where somebody makes them feel a certain way or put some slides up or makes them feel, but that's not the truth. So that's not going to help you when you really need it. Just like this whole twin flame phenomenon. You see how many people go run into every new twin flame video. They won't come here necessarily because I'm like the older, like the grandmother. I'm the person that's going to tell you the truth. And they don't want the truth. They just want to believe in this. So they'll run anywhere. And there'll be thousands and thousands and thousands of people. But what if those people actually just sat down and really said, you know what? In order for this to work, it's like anything else. I got to take it more seriously. It's not bubblegum astrology. So anything that really matters to you, it has to start with that type of frame of mind. How is this going to be more than a quick sex? How is this going to be more than just bubblegum astrology? Oh, another twin flame video. Let me run and watch that one. Let me run and watch that one. But you're not doing anything as far as really connecting with your twin at all. Or they're not trying to connect with you. Or just silly stuff. So you're kind of waiting for something that may or may not happen. And some people think just because they've had a dream or numerology or something that it's going to happen, but it's not. A lot of people have been waiting on twin flames for over 30, 40, 50 years. This is something that goes from lifetime to lifetime. Again, my question is, what would you be doing to kind of adjust it? I always tell you guys about Angel Creations, which is Angeline. Let me look at her really quick. And the reason why I'm using twin flames because that's what everybody wants to talk about. And it's the same phenomenon of what I'm saying. Angel Creations, I believe. It's all one word. There's a lot of YouTube channels with that name now, but I think it was years ago. It was really one person. Angelica is her name, I believe. Yep, there she goes. Angel Star. Angel Star Creations. And it's funny, Gabriel came up, said Wikipedia, Gabriel. And that's very unique that Gabriel will come up when I'm talking. Because only three websites came up for this. And I put Angel Stars, I put Angel Creations. I really just put Angelica, but I spelled it wrong. I spelled Angelica. And then she came up first, Angel Star Creations. And I'm looking right at her. And then another one came up with a person that says Magdalena Russo. And remember, my twin's name is Rosa. And then Gabriel. Now, why did that happen? And he's only got 4 views. Because, again, Gabriel is everything. Gabriel represents the moon, just like the High Priestess does. And Gabriel and the High Priestess have a lot to do with your twin flame. But I told everybody that's been listening, with the blood moon last month, January 2019, with the new moon February 2019, with the full moon that's about to come, I believe February 19th. That's really, because people are really losing it. I'm getting all these long emails. Most of these people write me now, females, they usually don't, they just don't do that. They write me these long emails. But I've been warning, but a lot of people are not listening. See, this is not a joke. And as long as if you stay with bubblegum astrology and you don't listen, you're going to keep finding yourself going through this. And it's going to, like anything else. Like if you're going through any type of school training, there's a reason why they're giving you a test. There's a reason why they want you to know this stuff. But you think it's a joke thing, you'll slide by, blah, blah, blah. And then boom, you finally get hit with it. And that's what's going on with these people. And that's what's going on with my twin right now. Because, I mean, the stuff I saw, I still haven't talked about it. The stuff I saw, I guess it was yesterday. Even like earlier, it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to screenshot this picture. I can't guarantee I'll remember, because a lot of times I screenshot stuff and then I forget. But this person who requested this will see these pictures I'm talking about. But Gabriel's there to confirm that, yeah, this is the real deal. This is the real thing. Which you told your whole twin flame thing. Okay. So she really was teaching about twin flames a long time ago. And she gave a lot of good advice. But even though she finally got to the place where she actually told her twin, listen, you come first. I'll do whatever needs to be done for us to connect in this lifetime. I do have a job and I do have a daughter. But other than those 2 things, whatever I need to do to connect with you, I'll do it. And that's now in this day and time to hear females say that, that's almost unheard of. Just depends on who or where. But what I'm trying to say was, years ago, it might not have been so hard to hear that. But nowadays, that's almost phenomenal. You're not going to hear a lot of females say that. Not if you put all the females that are on the planet or in a certain area of the planet. It just doesn't happen. But even though she said that, they still did not connect. And she stopped this channel, Angel Star Creations, and started another channel. She stopped talking about twin flames. And then she disappeared off the internet. There's another one called Twin Flame Era. It's either Twin Flames Era or Twin Flame Era. And those 2 came together, Josh and Renee. They were supposed to be teaching us about twin flames, and they made about 6 videos, and they both disappeared because they probably went into separation. So my point I want to say again, bubblegum astrology is not going to make it. It might make you feel good, but at the end of the day, you're going to be out of your resources, and you still ain't going to be with your twin. Now, you might be with somebody else, but you won't be with your twin. And the only way you are going to be with your twin, for the most part, I'm not saying in every case, because there's always going to be exceptions to conceptions. But the only way you're really going to be with your twin is it's got to be a little bit of maturity, usually on both sides. And you got to stop making every decision you make based on how you feel about it. Because you're always going to be like, women like to play hard to get. Some people are very picky. Some people think negative. That's not an easy thing to do because you're connecting with somebody who, in this lifetime, it's not like it was before. The other lifetime, you might have known each other. It might have just been more whatever. Not always, but usually you tend to be the opposite who you were in a past life. That's why when you look at your north node, see your south side is your past life. That's on the opposite side of the north node. So you may tend to be the opposite than what you were. So she might have been attracted to a certain type, and now you flipped it. So that's why that's not easy, but with maturity and getting through it. Like I told people, like this person here, this is what she does. She requests natal charts because she knows. Because that is going to be the place to start, natal charts. Because that's the only way you can see it. I know one person who, since we've been out here, she's said at least 3 or 4 different people have been her twin. So how many? You can only have one twin flame. One soul, 2 bodies. Twin soul, twin flame. But she's got talking about 4. So obviously she doesn't know what she's talking about. And then she don't want to get the natal chart, which is only going to make it more difficult, because how do you really know? And I've seen so many people say, oh, I know because I feel. And then as soon as that person gets on their nerves, they say, oh, that's a false twin. Wait a minute. False twin? You were the one saying it was a real twin. So these are people that are on bubblegum astrology. They're on children behavior, and then they're wondering why they can't get their life together. That's why. And that's why I say, but having said all that, now going back to the point I was trying to make. When you study the source, let's just say you do. Let's just say God is the source. When you study God, the source, and if you've ever studied God's word, then it's always been issues. The Messiah came here with love and everything, and they killed him, lied on him, and nailed him to a cross. So there was always going to be some type of friction, no matter what. And even if you found somebody that you were very happy with, the world around you is going to fuck it up to a certain degree. That's why I said one of my favorite all-time movies since I've been on this planet is West Side Story. Tony and Maria were trying to do the best thing they could. Get the heck away from all these dysfunctional, crazy people. Let's get the heck go. All this racism, all this silly stuff. These people are so stressed out and so nutty that they done forgot what love is. Let's get the heck out of here, Maria. Let's go. And they were almost out there in the playground. That's like the Garden of Eden in the playground. Always about children and beautifulness. Right in the playground. Here comes a psychopathic gangster brother that shoots Tony dead. And the whole time I'm crying while I watch this. The whole time Maria's holding Tony, he's laying there, and they're still talking about their plan to get away. You got to start crying because he ain't going nowhere but death. So that is personally the planet you're on. And you can't hide that. They get mad at me for telling the truth. They just want me to lie to you and talk about Venus and love in the 7th house. And they'll gladly give you money if you do that. But then time will go by when they realize, wow, I'm out of my money and I still don't have love. I still have my twin. So I'd rather tell people how to prepare for whatever you're going to go through. And it's called understanding what I just told you. Wherever you're at, there's going to be challenges and issues. And sometimes our worst enemies can be people of your own household. And believe it or not, the Messiah said that in the Bible. Doesn't mean you can't get through it. Doesn't mean you can't get through it, but you have to realize that that's a fact. That sometimes the people that hurt you the most are those that call themselves your family and your friends. But what I just got finished telling you is, obviously, God has some type of master plan behind it. There's a purpose behind the pain. And again, I'm not saying I justify it. I'm not saying I agree with it. But the faster we wake up to it, we begin to deal with it differently. So now, what we're going to do is go around all 3 of these charts. And as I said it before, I'm going to say it again. Great time to take notes. Great time to listen. Now, in the left chart, her first house is the Capricorn. We've done this chart many times before, but that's her east point. So her ascendant is in her 12th house. So this person has probably had many lifetimes, because generally, as we learned recently, your first house can deal with your present life, and your 12th house kind of deals with your past life. We just learned that recently. But her past life has the ascendant, and then it has the ascendant at 22 degrees. And again, that's the number of God's people. That's also the number of twin flames. That's an angelic number, number 4, and that can also be the 1111. So they're showing you two things. Basically, when you have your ascendant in your 12th house, what they're telling you is you have some type of Sagittarius, Pisces energy going on, because Pisces rules your 12th house. Sagittarius rules your 9th house. But it was a past life possible energy that you're still going to have to deal with in this life. And then your good fortune, your part of fortune also deals with your twin flames. And it's at 16 degrees, which is the war. Which is the war. Turmoil. Something getting broken down so that it can be rebuilt. So that's something you have to be ready for. And this makes a person highly psychic whenever you're dealing with like Pisces and Sagittarius, because Jupiter used to rule Pisces. Now Jupiter rules Sagittarius. So again, because of this energy, although it could be traumatic, as long as this person looks at life unselfishly, like they don't mind helping others or service, Jupiter will always bless them because of the connection with Sagittarius in the 12th house. Now, I just want to look at part of fortune and Sagittarius, because we recently learned that part of fortune has a lot to do with your past life as well. And some people say, you know what? Well, why is all this concern on past life and all these problems in the present life and stuff like that? See, I'm going to tell you guys a little secret. Some of you might know who Mecca Lexi is. Well, let me tell you something about. Back in around 2012, Mecca Lexi was on point. Like now we have RFG Chosen One, but no disrespect to RFG Chosen One, because I think he's one of the best that does what he does out here right now. But Mecca Lexi, classic Mecca Lexi would run laps around him. No disrespect, but she would run laps around him. And then something happened with Mecca Lexi where now she don't talk about nothing of esoteric metaphysics or nothing. She just sits there with her, I'm going to say newfound boyfriend, because I remember when she didn't have a boyfriend. But nobody told her like she did. Not in those areas. But she basically said this planet, she called it a quarantine. Some people call it a matrix. So as much as we say, well, we're here for a reason, and it's a little bit deeper than that. See, you're in a matrix ran by people who want you to stay dumbed down. And that's why you can't get along with your own family and all that. Because they keep you dumbed down. They don't let you tap back into your spiritual, where you really come from. They don't let you tap into your spiritual identity and connect back to where you're from. They dumb down everything, which only leads to selfishness, and there's no morals. That's why when they came, they destroyed everything. They destroyed all the indigenous people, all the tribal, all the family. They separated everything. They abused people right in front of their own family. They made people hate their own color, their own family. They went on and went on. So that's why you got all this turmoil in your household. But the good news is that time period is almost over with. All right. So now you have your part of fortune, that circle with the X in it. You have it in house number 12. So they're saying this is the position of the mediator and the seeker of inner peace. So they're telling you to discover the truths of your inner self, and the mysteries of the universe bring you your greatest joy. Your opposing position is the 6th house of duty. In your 6th house of duty, you may find yourself trapped in having to do your duty in the ordinary world and not be able to indulge in your inner work. So let's look at your 6th house real quick. Yeah, that's Gemini in the 6th house, and you don't have anything there. So to balance this out, do your duty without identifying with it, but realizing that everything can be a tool for inner reflection. Then they say the Zen. The Zen saying is, what do you do before enlightenment? You chop wood and carry water. Now, if you remember the Karate Kid, that's exactly what happened. You want to become a martial arts master like your teacher, Mr. Moriarty, you're going to do housework. You chop wood and carry water. What do you do after enlightenment? You chop wood and carry water. Now, that's kind of crazy. What does that mean? It means just stay humble. Don't be, like I already told you that. Don't be afraid to serve and stay humble. But that doesn't mean you let people burn yourself out, because a lot of people in the 12th house, they get burned out. But they put Sagittarius in the 12th house to teach a teacher how to become a student. In other words, whatever you know, you're going to serve to teach others. And also, Pisces tends to dream a lot, because Neptune rules Pisces. Pisces is a dreamer. But Pisces working together with Sagittarius will bring those dreams into fruition. Because Sagittarius is like a little bit more mature and is like a master teacher. So you have to balance out the subtle and material world. Both of them. The subtle world is like the 12th house. And the material world, they're kind of like saying it's the 6th house. That's what they're kind of implying. But now you want to go part of fortune in Jupiter. Or part of fortune in Sagittarius. Truth, knowledge, freedom are your key words. You have a fiery energy that pushes for more and more, sometimes without a plan or an end in sight. Because you like the sheer joy of expansion. Because basically Sagittarius and Jupiter, they deal with philosophy and expansion, especially Jupiter. Because Jupiter is going to expand you, but also bless you with finances. So they say this type of person may have a directionless drive. But then they still talking about your opposing sign. The opposing sign of Gemini brings direction, discernment, and insight into the world of duality. So Gemini makes decisions based on the dual nature of things. So you have to learn to take the skill of your Gemini 6th house. You have to be able to see both sides of a situation. Again, now listen, because this is how you do better in relationships. And I'm not just talking to her, I'm talking to anybody. That's why people don't get it. Like, I might spend hours on a natal chart, and the first question they go is he my twin or what? So that means you didn't even listen to it. That's what you're talking about. Is he your twin? He's probably sleeping with somebody else, but you're sitting here worrying about is he your twin or not. You should be worrying about why are you here. Nobody's not trying to stop you from having love, but they're trying to build. That's the whole point of your natal chart. It builds you up to why you're here. It connects you back to the universe, which means you won't be sitting out here crying over one person who probably don't care a whole lot about you, because if they did, they'd be pursuing you. Therefore, you begin to make better decisions. And like when a guy knows you're smarter, he's not going to play you out. My sister's been married for 13 years because she listened to me. Find out why you're here. Find out what your purposes are. Find out your strong points. Really doesn't take that long. But we'll waste all the time in the world on stupid stuff. Silly stuff. Some of us are grown like grown adults, but we still want to act like children. There's a time and place for everything. I have nothing against having fun, but when are you going to grow up? So that when you do have some type of relationship, it starts to grow and mature. Instead of going up real quick and then down real quick. Then you're sleeping with somebody else. But then you're still talking to the other person. So the Gemini in the 6th house helps this person see different sides of a situation, because the Gemini is king of multitasking as well as communications. And then Sagittarius also helps you analyze, mature, and make decisions, because Sagittarius is a little bit more mature. And that 12th house, that's what it's about. Reckoning, fixing things, finding out what's going on, and then fixing it, like she's trying to do. That's why she's getting these natal charts and stuff. And then that's the freedom you have. See, Sagittarius wants to be free and expand. But that's what happens. When you really sit somebody down and you really get something straight with somebody, you know what? You stop being afraid. Because a lot of times a female just don't want to question a man. And it's just easier for her to go close in, and she says, well, I'm just going to do what I'm going to do. But then that ain't going to work, because at some point, whatever you're doing, he's going to find out, or he's going to become suspicious. See, a lot of y'all don't know how powerful the Bible is. The Bible talks about that. When a man just knows. And he tells his woman, I think you've been messing around. And she goes, no, I haven't. So he takes her to the elders, and they make her drink something. This is all in your Bible. And when she drinks it, if she's been messing around, that stuff it makes her belly swell up. And she gets real sick, and her belly swells up. And that's how they know she's been messing around. And then back then, they stoned you. What I'm trying to tell you, these are metaphysical laws. It's not just a story in the Bible. This stuff still goes on in the universe. That's why when somebody starts to start looking at you differently or figuring something out, and you think you covered you covered everything. I covered all my tracks. How could this person have figured it out? Because they got somebody telling them supernaturally. So what the correct way of doing things in life is, when you feel a certain way, communicate. Now, if you think, well, if I communicate, they might get very angry. Well, you don't have to be in their face. Don't communicate in their face. Nowadays with technology, there's many different ways you can do it, but they're saying the communication. So in her 12th house and 6th house, that's what they're basically saying. Because a person, you can't just get mad at somebody and don't even tell them why, because that's just fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure if you was with a guy and he felt a certain way, you wouldn't want him to just dump you. He could be wrong. He might not know the whole reason why whatever happened. Who wants a friend like that? So you got to understand these things. Communicate. And then the same thing kind of goes with family. And family can be a little bit more difficult. But what these two houses just got finished saying is, try to handle a little bit more Sagittarian, a little bit more maturely. Try to find some form of communicating so that we can hopefully get past it. And usually when you talk to anybody, nobody likes to be corrected. So they're always going to act like they don't care at first. They're going to act like a tough guy. Sometimes you have to let it sit in. And then maybe after a couple of days or something, you'll see a different person. Because we are going to be talking about impatience. Because that was one thing that came up in the past life reading in the report. So we got to talk about that when we get there. So in this life, the ascendant or rising sign is Sagittarius. So she's going to have a Capricornian, but a Sagittarian personality as well. And that number 22 is following her big time on her chart. Since it is, let's just do this really quick. What is this? Give me one moment. That full moon is driving people crazy. Really is. Last thing this person said to me was their twin flame was this famous person. There's nowhere in the world that person's their twin flame. Now, but this is the person that's told me 4 different people was their twin flame. Now they're talking about please remove me when they just sent me information. How you gonna tell me to remove you when you just sent me information? But this is what happened. Like I'll be trying to tell y'all, this is why I don't change my structure. See, a lot of people panic. Oh, I'm on my numbers. Oh, everybody's leaving. Oh, I sit there and go, worst mistake they made. Because when you don't handle this the way it's supposed to be handled, that's what's going to happen. You're messing with stuff that can make you go crazy. Like the twin flames alone is that powerful. Because it really be messing people up. But that's just one thing on this planet that can really mess you up. You have to have a stable ground. All right, let's continue. It was funny. I just got finished talking about that person too. And then they sent me that email. More confirmation. All right. Now we're going to try to take a look at this number 22. Again, it's the master number. It's the master builder. And they try to say, see on your tarot cards, the major arcana has 21 cards. And then that's it. It's like 0 to 21 and that's it. Though that's your major arcana. But they're saying that the 0 card can also be 22, which is a new beginning. And you do see that on your natal chart. I just mentioned that, with your ascendant in the 12th house. So this is a person that's going to be going through like deaths and resurrections. Something ends, something begins. And they're saying sometimes it's like if you complete one cycle, it restarts to another cycle. So it's the Fool at 0 degrees, but then it's the Master at 22. But 22 actually goes back to 0 degrees because now you're going to go into something new. So 22 is the number of spiritual mastery and great achievement. And that's again is what I'm trying to tell you. This is why you want to do it the universe's way. Because what happens is, Like in the Bible, they talk about Ruth. And excuse me, in the Bible they talk about Esther. Well, Ruth too, but especially Esther, because Esther had it. She was the master. Like she was the big thing on the planet at that time. God set her up, put her in the right spot. She was the big thing at that moment in time, but she was scared. So I became I became like Mordecai, because that's what I do. For people that listen, not the cowards that are gonna run, the ones that want bubblegum astrology, because you just saw what happens. This person's a nut job. That lady, I've known that lady for a long ass time, but she never listens. She's hard. Like something I see with a lot of people out here. They're just hard headed. If it's not dumbed down, if it's not bubblegum astrology, they won't listen to it. But when they start to lose their mind, see, you got to remember what they say about the moon. That's the lunatics. Now keep in mind, who came just a minute ago? Gabriel. I didn't put nothing in no search engine about no Gabriel. And you heard me say, why is Gabriel showing up? But Gabriel corresponds with the moon. And I just told y'all, with this full moon in January, the blood moon, and RFG Chosen One says the same thing about the you can go crazy. When you disobey the universe, that's mama. That's mother creator, mother everything. You get spanked. And if you come in a guy like me, I'm ordained. I'm built for this. I didn't do nothing to you. What are you coming at me for? You pay for that. Like I'm an old school dude. Like we always knew you never mess with like spiritual teachers and nothing like that. Whatever happens with that spiritual teacher, that's between them and God. But nowadays you're in an era where people think, but that's what YouTube did. Everybody thinks they have a comment. Where I come from, you don't have no comment if you don't know what you're not talking about. If you don't know what you're talking about, you keep your mouth shut. Let somebody talk who knows. So what you have now is all these people that think they know everything, but when this country starts to change, that's when reality is going to hit, and then they're going to realize what they really didn't know. But then it's going to be almost too late, because when rights start going away and violence is all over the place. So again, when a person's listening, so Esther didn't want nothing to do with it. So Mordecai had to tell her, just like I'm telling y'all. And he basically told Esther the same thing I'm telling y'all. He told Esther, you either going to do it the way God has set it up, or you're going to pay for it. God will replace you and put somebody in your spot. So that shook Esther up. So Esther had to find a place to come up with the courage. Because the tendency is just to run. But technically speaking, depending on what type of arrangement you have with another person, you owe that person the I don't want to say courtesy, but you owe that person some type of explanation. Because it's easy to say, oh, so and so did something, so boom, boom, but you didn't even talk to so and so, so you really don't know. So that's what Esther had to do. She had to learn how to stand up like an adult and stop running like a child. And she was relatively young, but she had to learn how to stand up in the court of a king. And she was already the queen, because God put her in that position. So he gives you the position, you got to act like it. So when you see 22 all over the place, and you find out how important 22 is, you got to act like that 22. Because that's your place in the universe. Assigned to you by the creator who did your natal chart. That's how you tap back into your powers of the universe. Because that's the truth. And like I said, anybody wants to go find early Mechalesi, you're going to hear her say the same similar stuff that I'm saying. Not the new Mechalesi. It's always talking about some dating stuff or other stuff they talk about now. So they say with the number 22 can come a great deal of responsibility. But again, it's nothing to panic. The best thing you can do whenever God puts you somewhere is to take a step. Take a step forward. And the best thing about this life is who doesn't fall. That's how you learn. And you get back up and take another step. So they say this type of person, when they're younger, because of the number 4, because 2 and 2 is 4, so they may be kind of materialistic or kind of bound to the physical or material. But when they get older, then they become more spiritual. Because like I said, Sagittarius is a good sign to have in the 12th house, because that's your spiritual house. So it says when this person becomes older, all of a sudden they become more spiritual. So number 22 is associated with universal love, message of peace. But it could seem unrealistic. But again, that's why you got Pisces and Sagittarius and Pisces. Could be a little unrealistic. It could appear to be unrealistic to other people. But these type of people are capable of full love. And that's why it's hard, because see, they're capable of full love. And then you meet people that aren't. You know, you're going to meet people that have sin. And you're going to meet people that have faults and shortcomings. And that bothers you, because you know you want to love this person fully. And they're trying, but they're still going to have temptation. And like I said, sometimes like what you females have to do, you have to try to look at this world from a man's viewpoint. Look at how y'all dress. Look at how y'all act. The fact of the matter is, if I'm by myself, this is a fact. Usually, don't nobody want me. Let me just get one female that shows me a little interest. Then all of a sudden, all females that didn't want me, now all of a sudden they all want to be up in the mix. One reason they like attention. Second, they like to start drama. And third, they just want to see if they can fuck something up. I've had female friends that do that. They don't even like to do it, but they're going to go over there and take her from his girl and do all this stuff. And then they're going to call her up and tell her what them two did. So this is stuff, like I said, it's so easy to blame a man, but you should look at the whole picture. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's free. He's still guilty. You know, if you were in a relationship with somebody and they cheat on you, they still cheated. Even if he was tempted. He still cheated. He's still guilty. But you still should see the whole situation. So that's why we do this. Like it's almost like a game. This is what I mean about bubblegum astrology. It's like we play this silly game and nobody wants to grow up. So we'll do it over. We might get married 3 or 4 times, 5 times, 7 times. We'll keep playing the game, but nobody ever says, hey, wait a minute. Why am I doing this? So they're saying the number 22 is a sign of a highly evolved soul. And I already told you probably lived many lifetimes. And again, 22 is the master builder. Now, in your first house, which is your personality, each point, again, is the heart of the sun, or the ego of solar energy. Your Neptune can be the dreamer, idealism. You just have to be very, very careful, because you don't want to be misled by deception. But it's number 20 degrees is judgment. And that's Pluto energy. So you have to be careful. So wherever you see Pluto at, it's going to use that kind of energy too. Your Uranus is there as well. So again, even though you're an old soul Capricorn, career-minded, your first house is going to be a lot like your 10th house, ruled by Capricorn. You have the ability to see things in an idealistic Neptunian, even mystical way, but Uranus will shake that up. And if you know how to use those energies, because they actually oppose each other. And Uranus also opposes Capricorn. But if you know how to use those energies, you can get through. Because it's kind of like if you're a business-minded person and you say, I'm going to do it this way, but Uranus can help you compromise. And also, Neptune can help you speak to other people in such a way that they'll join up with you, because you know how to speak in such a way to make them feel, oh, this will benefit you too, because that's what Neptune does. Neptune is very idealistic, so that it would be like this would be a great salesman. All right, so your second house, Aquarius, not too much there, so we're not gonna spend a lot of time on any houses like that because we want to get through the whole chart, all three of them. Now, your past life, they talk about Neptune, Saturn retrograde. The number 6 is usually Venus. It's also the Lover's card, though, but that could also be doubt. Because a lot of people think the Lover's tarot card is about lovers, but it's not. It's usually about doubt. But it all depends on how the card comes in your reading. Sometimes the card may mean lovers, but other times it means doubt. Like these two, they have a lot of doubt, which is affecting their love. All right, so again, another spiritual background. You have Pisces in your third house, primarily communication, education, publishing, brotherhood, siblings. But they talked about this. Now, on your report, because that report goes by your retrogrades. So you have Saturn retrograde, and Saturn also deals with karma, which can also connect back to past life. And you know that's the case because your Pisces rules your 12th house. And then when we first started talking about past life, we went there. So here, past life, Saturn retrograde means you may have problems with time. Because a lot of times, people can't get to where they want to get to in life because Saturn keeps stopping them. Because we just learned that some of the stuff you get to might be later on in life. Because you got 222s. And remember, Saturn rules Capricorn. And then Pisces rules your 12th house. So it's almost like Saturn is saying, it'll take a little while to get there. And that's why you see a lot of times in your life setbacks. Why can't I just find one guy? See, that's why people have to get their natal charts. You have to learn how this really is. Because otherwise you're just goofing off. And you ask a psychic. A psychic ain't going to know all this. There's no way in the world a psychic's going to know all this stuff you're looking at before you. No way. Not the best psychic. They're not going to be able to tell you all that. They're not going to be able to tell you how many lifetimes and all that. And if they do, that's going to be a whole lot of readings. And I still don't think they could do it. That's going to be they're going to have to be a really good psychic. And it's going to be a whole lot of readings. That's going to be expensive. I don't know what. Because if you're listening, you can already tell we're going to different lifetimes. And like I said, I hate to tell you all that, but this is the real world. You know, why it's got to be so complicated? It's always been that way. So that's why when Messiah came, they let you know he lived. He was there at the beginning of time. So he lived a whole lot of lifetime. Okay, and then when he said John the Baptist is Elijah. All right, so that's two different people. But you got people that have been lied to about the Bible that they don't want to read it the way it's really written. And then when somebody tells them what's really there, they don't want to believe that person. But the faster you believe it, you can get on with your life. Because that's the real deal. Otherwise, I'm going to say it again, it's bubblegum astrology. Because you're talking about David, then you're talking about John, then you're talking about Joe. And if you keep going, you're going to be talking about Billy, then you're going to be talking about Bobby, then you're going to be Justin. And then finally, you're going to say, fuck, man. Now I'm down with Susan. You bouncing around like bubblegum. The bubble. Blowing all over the place. And then you and Susan ain't going to get along. It's going to be somebody else. Because these are people that won't do it the way the universe says. So, in your third house, Saturn retrograde is saying you may experience time delays. You may deal with some type of paperwork, even a court situation. You may think the paperwork's done, but it's not. Or you have to redo it. It's going to be time delays. But Saturn retrograde also says that maybe in a past life, you dealt with abuse of authority, Or you may have fought against authority. Maybe even in this life you have a problem with something that seems authority or authoritative. Or in a past life or now, you may have a problem with authority. So you have to work on that. And if you notice, now you got it's 6 degrees, but they put that number 44 there as well. But that's 44 minutes. But I recently saw a natal chart where your minutes also can be interpreted by numerology. Because I used to didn't do it that way, but I saw one. So 44 is another master number, because as you know, Barack Obama was the 44th president. That's another super, because it's like 22 times 2. So yeah, whenever you think your twin flame is a mega superstar, how come it can't just be like a garbage man or sewer cleaner? Why does it have to be like a mega star? That's like me saying like a real famous female that's out there right now, and I'm trying to tell you, oh, she's my twin. Why couldn't it be somebody else? Why gotta be said? So you could tell when people, something's affecting them in a certain way. And then what are you basing it on? If you really believe that, what are you basing that information on? All right, now just give me a moment. I'm trying to get this number. All right. Just give me a moment. This time we're going to have to use Sacred Scribes angel numbers just to look at it really quick. All right, now what is this? See, like I'm gonna say this again, because like I said, after this full moon, I got a lot of like long emails, and most of these females never write emails that long. But it's these moons that's really messing with them. But that's still a result of not doing what you're supposed to. It's like if you were training for law enforcement, and you're supposed to be doing all this stuff, and you don't do it, and then finally an emergency or something pops out, and you're not ready. And you go out there and get yourself hurt or get somebody else hurt. And at that point, there's not too much a person can do. And getting mad is not going to stop. That's what I keep telling you about bubblegum astrology. You keep blaming somebody else. That's childish. Somebody else can't always answer your questions, and you can't blame somebody else. Sometimes you gotta say, did you get the right information? That's the first thing you do. Go to somebody who's qualified. Get the right information. Now, are you following the information you receive? Because that's how you get the universe's blessing. And that's how you don't be wandering around. Like in the Bible, they had the people wandering around in the wilderness forever and ever. They were out there for 40-something years. But that's because they wouldn't listen. They were hard-headed. And they wouldn't listen to Spirit, so Spirit kept them out there. Like I said, when you keep disobeying Mama, she's going to start affecting you personally, your life. You might have health problems. Anything could happen. Physical problems. Stuff around you starts breaking down. Could have financial problems. All that's a result of constantly not being disobedient. So number 44 says pay attention to your intuition and inner wisdom. So it means that your connection with your angels and the angelic realm is very strong. Now look where that's at. That's in your third house of Gemini. We started talking about Gemini, and you got Pisces there, the spiritual, going back to your 12th house. Then you got Saturn, and Saturn is going to be the discipliner. He's going to control your time, slow it down. It's also karma. So you got a karmic connection to Gemini energy and Pisces energy. And that's where we started with your chart. And that's why I said, because you're asking questions about family as well. So that's why when you're taking notes, you already know. Because your family might have Gemini or Pisces and stuff like this. Is stuff you want to know. Because it will help out ultimately, it will help out. So where you see 44 on your chart with Saturn, you're being surrounded by helpful, loving angels who wish to bring you peace of mind and joy of heart. Now, this is your third house that deals with, it says siblings. So that's a brother or sister. But really, it is the environment around you as well. It could be your entire family. And also it deals with younger children and stuff like that. Or even adults that are kind of immature. It deals with that as well. So they're letting you know that they'll be giving you support and encouragement. So it's almost like Saturn is telling you this is for your own good. Whatever's going to happen there in that third house, it's almost for your own good. Third house is creativity, short distance travel, child education. Almost because you talk about children. So children, and also with Pisces there could be inspiring children, but it could also be like a Sunday school teacher, but it's definitely children. So you will be faced with obstacles, but Saturn is letting you know it'll help you. And the angels will be there too. And the angels are willing to assist. That's why I tell people again, like I got the Archangel cards right over by my bed. I got the Archangel Oracle cards, and I got the Gabriel Oracle cards. Like a lot of people say, oh, Doreen Virtue, she doesn't do this anymore, and she said this, she said that. But it doesn't matter. That's like saying, oh, all the apostles are dead, so I'm not going to read the Bible. That just doesn't make any sense. That's why I say, on this channel, I try not to be stuck on stupid. And I'm sorry people are offended. But here's the deal. If you were talking about like boxing, right? You would have a boxer, like a trainer, a manager, a coach. He's been in the ring for decades. He knows all about boxing. He's won, he's lost, he's held titles, he's lost them, he's won them back. He knows what he's talking about. So you have a lot of people say, oh, I don't like him, or for this reason, or this or that, I don't like his tone, and all this stupid stuff. So then they go out and they can just be getting behinds kicked. And maybe every now and then they win a match or something, they be getting behinds kicked. So you got the one guy that listens to the trainer, because he knows all about respecting people and stuff like that, respecting your elders. He knows all that stuff. He's not stupid. And he listens, and he's winning. Not saying he wins every fight, but he's winning. And he's got titles. He got title championship belts. He's got trophies. This guy's winning. That's how it breaks down. We don't stay stuck on stupid on this channel. You want to tap into the universe. Because the moment... See, like with me, y'all have to understand. I love where I'm at. I love studying. I love learning about all this stuff. I love where I'm at. And that's why I always ask myself, am I happy now? Definitely. Was I happy before? Not really. So that's why I say it's a little bit different for me. Because I'm not trying to be with anybody who's not going to at least keep me kind of happy. Because I'm not trying to be on stress. This planet will stress you the fuck out. Like I say, and I know, because I know how my family is. Family alone will kill you if you're not careful. And you say, damn, my family. Because that's what I said when I was a little kid. Because I knew I came to this planet for a reason. And I used to just look at the family I came, I was like, whoa. Because I knew where I really come from was way just loving. That's why I said all this information is out there, like Earth Angels and stuff like that. Angelica from Angel Star Creation, she talks about that stuff. Earth Angels. But you got plenty of videos. And these Earth Angels come here to help. And when they get here, they be like, wow. They be like, I made the biggest mistake of my life. And they get crazy. They want to get off this planet. But they can't because they made a commitment to come here. And so what they start doing is getting high. That's why they say high, because they want to get back to where they came from. So they be getting high, and getting drunk, or they just don't come outside. And when they come outside, they try to come outside real quick and get what they want and get back inside. So they're saying that if you do what you're told, as far as this is concerned, with this number 44 in Saturn, they're saying you will have solutions to your problems. Be assured that solutions to any issues or problems will soon be revealed. And this is all coming from that number 44. So they're letting you know that the angels and the archangels are with you. Because that is like the archangel number, especially 444 archangel number. So they're here to encourage you and guide you, to offer you inner strength and the support you need to get the work done that you need to do in order to attain and achieve your goals and aspirations. And again, that's the children, because that's the third house with the children. And even if somebody said, you know what, I don't really work at that job no more, but you were still there, and the fact that you see it on your natal chart, that's how you know it's accurate. And nobody ever knows what the future is going to hold. We think we do, but you never know. So everybody is aware that you've been toiling diligently towards your goals, and they encourage you to continue your current path to achieve the success and results you desire. Work with the angels to ensure success in all of your endeavors. Again, like with communication, what females just have to realize is you have to like start to communicate more. Cause like old school, a guy said, "Hey, can I take you out?" And you would just say, "Yeah." And like I'm just letting y'all know right now, something God's been showing me lately. Like right here in my county, a female was killed by her best male friend. He knew her. They grew up together. She came into a little bit of money, and he killed her for it. That's going on in court now. Another female, not in New Jersey, but another female. She was hanging out with the wrong crowd, because you females tend to like the bad boys. She was hanging out with the wrong crowd, and something happened where they wanted to kill her. So she had to leave her house, and she came back to live with her father. But you know, the father wasn't too proud of her at that moment, because look, you hanging out, you got all these. Now I'm talking like a father. I'm not telling you what to do with your body, but her father was like, you got all these tattoos on your body. So he didn't really want to see her like that. You know, he still was his daughter, and he still loved her. But at that moment in time, he was disappointed, because he could say, you're not the female we raised. You know, you think you're some type of badass, and now you're on the run. So she had 2 dogs, and he said those dogs ain't coming in his house. Put those dogs out wherever. So apparently the dogs didn't like where they were put at. Plus they weren't eating. They weren't eating as regularly as they used to. Now keep in mind the environment she had those dogs around was thugs and criminal-minded people. The same people now they wanted to kill her. So remember, your dogs are studying everything. And most of y'all know I'm not lying. Y'all see dogs start to imitate their masters and everything. So she took those dogs out on a walk, and they were her dogs. She raised them from pups. She walked them in the woods or whatever, and they both jumped her and killed her and ate her. This is a true story. You can look that up in the news. Say, why are you telling us this? I'm telling you this because everything is for a reason. Everything you hear is for a reason. There are messages everywhere. You may hear something that it may not resonate with you, but somebody else might hear and they're like, yeah, you know, I had a date tonight. I don't even know that guy. I think I'm gonna call him and say, no, we got to change the plan. So what I'm trying to tell a female is, you got to communicate more. Just because the guy says he want to take you somewhere, do you really even know him? What do you know about him? You understand? Slow it down. Maybe you want to meet publicly. Or maybe I bring my car, you bring your car and stuff like that. Like, and if he don't like it, then he don't like it. Say, nowadays, I just have to be careful. Because any dude that really has any respect for you, he's going to understand what you're saying. But if you got to do this like, nah, I don't get down like that. Well, I don't appreciate that. Boom, boom, boom. You don't know him. That's why, look how many people what was his name, Ted Bundy? Look how many women that dude killed. It's like guys out here that can't get one date. How'd that dude get to kill all them women? So y'all got to wake up. Nobody's trying to bust your balloons. But I'd rather somebody give me a reality check and I'm still alive 5 years later than somebody that don't tell me and then I'm dead, stuffed up in somebody's trunk. So when you slow things down and you start to communicate more, don't have to be rude. I didn't tell nobody to be rude because I hate rude people. Don't have to be rude, but you can make your point. Like, boom, I just met you, blah, 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 boom, boom. And then dude, if he's a real dude, he'd be like, oh, yeah, okay, let's meet here. It's public, blah, blah, blah. Boom, boom, boom. And then you're going to feel way better because he's showing you that he actually cares about you. He's not just telling you, oh, well, listen, I don't appreciate you talking about I'm offended or whatever. Well, with all this crazy stuff going on in the planet, she has a right to be a little concerned about her safety. And if you were a real man, you would understand that. And sometimes somebody will talk tough to you or whatever, but when they see you're not going to back down, then they change their tone. And then, but believe that's going to be better for you. And like, tell them from the men I knew. See, I don't know about the newer era, but the men I knew, they wanted a woman that said what was on their mind. They may act like they don't want it, but they want that. Because there has to be a communication factor. Remember, this is your third house. Your third house is the house of communication with Gemini. And it's ironic that that's where Saturn is there too. Because you can't really blame a guy if you don't talk. That's why I said, the way I do things, I make sure I do my part. So that when all this stuff crumbles, because I've been on this planet long enough to tell you a lot of times, no matter what you do, that shit's going to crumble. Just the way it is. But when it crumble, I don't have no guilty conscience. Like this person just writing me talking about whatever. I don't know why you writing me. I haven't said nothing to you. You the one sending me all this information. You the one talking crazy. Talking about take you off the list. You just sent me like just yesterday she sent me like 4 emails. So I don't have to sit here and worry about that because obviously she's going through something. I can't help her because some of these people I've been trying to help for years, they don't listen. And then as soon as something go wrong, they think you're going to stop everything. No, I'm not going to stop everything. I've been talking to you for like 4 years. When are you going to grow up? None of us are going to get any better until we start to grow up. Bubblegum astrology is going to pop, just like I keep telling you. You're going to be out of your money, all stressed out. Then you're going to start taking it out on your friends. You're going to start losing friends. And you still ain't going to be with your twin. And then what might happen is you'll be with somebody, but that ain't going to work out. Then you're going to be gave yourself, your sex, whatever, your love, whatever, to another person. And you're going to be like, damn, where they at? So angel number 44 is telling you have nothing to fear in regards to your life, your work, or your divine life purpose and your soul mission. Angels are here to support you. Keep up the good work. And remember, the number 6 is a number for Venus, too. She was so beautiful this morning. I had to go out this morning. Venus was out there. Jupiter was out there. Venus was so beautiful. She looks so close to the earth right now. So the archangels and angels are always here ready to help you and guide you. So that's what you focus on. And you don't worry about somebody else. Wherever Doreen Virtue is, that's where she needs to be right now. But the legacy she left is phenomenal. And you just got to know how to tap into the right energy. Anything is going to be energy. You could go in church and have some problems. And that's in the church. Look at all these things, terrible things that have happened in churches and with church people and these men and women. So anywhere you go, you have to learn how to be careful. But it doesn't mean you say, okay, I'm never going to go to a church again because this priest did this to this child. I'll never go to. You're going to have good and bad wherever you go. But you got to learn how to walk the correct walk. All right. So now I told you in Saturn retrograde, I told you all about it. And you may have been somewhat of a revolutionary in the past life, or you may have had a trouble, or you may have been victimized by abuse, or you may be abusive yourself. So you want to make sure you're not being abusive in this life. And also Saturn retrograde implies impatience. So you have to learn how to be patient. Again, when you go to your fourth house, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's Aries. So you already know it's going to be aggression and stuff like that. But we already know you have some type of, this is your family. Family house is the fourth house. Teenage to adult education. Land and property or real estate. Family and ancestors. Your heart or your health. Your vehicle and travel. For with Aries there, we already know is probably some type of issues there. And Aries is going to take you back to your first house, but also wherever you see Mars. And if you see your Mars is right there leaving Cancer, but it's at 0 degrees, so it's still going to be felt. And then it's going into Leo, but that's really interesting because then you got the vertex, which is your soulmate, which is your 6 degrees. So me seeing all these sixes where they are, I can already tell you those 6 degrees are talking about your soulmate. And he may have, and I just did a natal chart just like yours. So your soulmate may have a problem with being a little too rigid and a little bit too boisterous, bossy, like Leo can be. Not saying all that's bad, because Leo has a lot of good traits, but that could be one of his traits or her traits. Fifth house, like I already told you, Taurus in the fifth house is not a good place for Taurus because it's very sensual. This will be very passionate, want to have a lot of sex, but they blow their money. And when you go back to your second house, right there, Aquarius, see, these are two people that don't put a value on money, but you have to put a value on money because money, you have to pay bills and things like that. That's part of being mature. Because if Taurus is gambling, they'll waste it. And plus, with Aquarius in the second house, Taurus in the fifth, if somebody comes to you with a sad story, even if they lying to you, you may still fall for it. So that's something you have to be aware of. All right, your Pallas retrograde can also be your soulmate. So maybe your soulmate will try to help you keep on your money. You know, 24 is that number 6 again. And again, it's the High Priestess, number 2, and it's the Aries, number 4. And see, Aries likes financial things. Aries is aggressive. So that could be dangerous too. So you would have to, that's the first thing they told you earlier about balancing. You would have to be able to balance that. So you want that 2-4 to have 6 energy. Love. And not doubting. Not the lover is doubting, but the love. But right now, 2-4 is saying, the High Priestess is saying, hey, let me bring you two together. But number 4 is saying, nah, man, I still want to be Aries. I want to do me. I'm trying to have fun. I'm in the 5th house. I'm trying to have fun. And you see how number 5 is right underneath it. I'm in the 5th house. I'm trying to have fun. But it's okay to have fun, but you still got to balance out. Especially if your fun means losing all your money. Because how we going to eat? If we're in a relationship, how we going to eat if you're losing all your money? Because we're not going to pay bills. Even if the other person got money, you're still losing money. And then you got Lilith retrograde that deals with a lot of repression. She's at 6-2, and she's also at 16, which could be turmoil. So you just got to be careful of the 5th house and not having so much fun that you're actually destabilizing yourself. And you got to say it. And also, if you're going to have sex, safe sex. Because Taurus in the 5th house is very sexually aggressive. Very sexually active. I'll take back aggressive. I'll say active. All right, 6th house, Gemini. We already talked about that. But that is your house or your home and everything. In service. 7th house, and you even got the number 7 there. And that's funny because the number 7 is a Chariot. And that's Cancer energy. So the Chariot is a person that wants to be in a relationship and they coming fast. So maybe you just have to slow down maybe a little bit. And then you even got the fire of Vesta. So wherever you see Vesta, you have to slow down and take a break. Like I told you, you can mess your health up. Remember I told you in your 4th house, and your 4th house is ruled by Cancer. You would actually have trouble with your heart, stuff like that. And even Capricorn is like your bone structure and stuff like that. You have to be very careful of health. Then they start everything off in 0 degrees. And that's somebody that could almost fly off the handle. You gotta, so you got 4 there again, but that's the nurturer, but that's gonna be Aries energy again. And you got that 6 that could be lovers, could be Venus, could be doubt, but that's your vertex. So you would find yourself in a situation with somebody who has a Leo energy or Scorpio energy. And that is your 8th house of past life. So again, like you were asking about your family, so you see Mars there, you see Leo, and this could be power struggles and arguing all the time and watery emotions and all that. Just nagging the hell out of somebody, because that's like a form of narcissism. Because I got relatives that do that. If they can, they just nag the hell out of you. Narcissism, codependencies, people that just got to be up in your face all the time and all kind of crazy shit. And then, which looks like it's the highest part on your chart, is that Virgo, but that's Chiron healing. So you got home in the 9th house of Sagittarius. So this could be like a home in a foreign location, foreign speaking relatives, because this is also in-laws. This person might have some type of education thing coming from their home, or they might do it online, because that's also Sagittarius or Aquarius. But it's going to be some type of home thing. But it's going to be like a healing thing for you, because Chiron means you're healing, and 18 is the moon. So it's got that motherly moon. And if you notice, right next to it is the literal moon. And that's always Mother Mary. So you got to remember, see, Mother Mary is also the high priestess. Anything with Mo is the moon. That's high priestess. So that's also going to be a form of the high priestess on the tarot card, but also Mother Mary with the moon. And then the 5 degrees is actually the Pope. That's the high priest. So the high priestess is with the moon, or number 2. And the Pope or the high priest is with the 5. But ironically, that's also in your 10th house. So that could be a connection to a literal Pope or a literal pastor. Somebody with rulership in your church. Because your 10th house is almost implying being married by that type of person, a reverend or something like that. Even if it could be a male or a female. And then they put your 8 and 11 together. See, 8 and 11 is the strength card and the justice card, and you got Libra energy there. So it's almost like your 10th house is, because that's karmic too. That's Saturn and Capricorn. It's almost they're almost telling you, like, if you're doing what I'm telling you, growing up. And I'm not saying you're not grown up, but this is what they're telling you on your natal chart. See, that Capricorn is saying mature, grow up. Saturn is saying mature, grow up. But your reward is your 10th house, the big payoff. And they're also implying that, somebody quite important will be responsible for marrying y'all with the Libra. Because that could be, with that type of setup, that could be anybody. That could be the mayor, that could be anybody. But it's whoever it is that they're gonna have a reputation. This is your house of reputation, ruled by Capricorn. But around it, they keep going 5 and 5. I don't know, because the guy you marry, he might even be kind of spiritual, because the Mercury is at 5 and the Moon is at 5. Just so you know, Mercury and the Moon is Gabriel, and that's who showed up. See, that's why I said I be showing people stuff. Like I did one natal chart, and this female had connections to the Gobi Desert. Now I want y'all to understand something. The Gobi Desert is one of the most powerful people. This is supernatural people on the planet. Like Antarctica, Gobi Desert, Shambhala is inside the earth. These are very powerful people that are on this planet. She could care a freak less about that. All she cared about was the guy. Is that my twin? Is it going to be with my twin? Man, ain't nowhere in the world I'm a bounce over some information like that. Because I'm going to tell you again, y'all get mad when I tell you the truth, but most of these people you meet in your life going to come and go. Perfect example. Lady just sent me an email for nowhere out the blue. I haven't said nothing to her. She going through some bull crap and said, take me off. How you going to take you off my list when you just sent me 4 emails back to back? But I got to take you off my list. That was so stupid, I ain't even going to respond. I done got tired of this YouTube stuff. That's why you don't see me too much on my other channel and stuff. This stuff will wear you out. Some of these people. That's like somebody told me one time, they sent me an email and told me off. They told me off, said some stuff about my mother and all kind of crazy stuff. And then they said, if you reply, I'm going to call the police and tell them you harassing me. So you're going to send me a disrespectful email talking about my mom and everything, but I can't say nothing back. So I sat on it for like a little bit. I said, man, forget that crap. I said, go ahead, call on it. I told that person exactly what I think. I told that person exactly what I thought. Something wrong with you? Boom, 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 boom. Told that person up. So this is the kind of stuff you got to deal with. All right, medium Coeli is also part of your 10th, your north node, which is your the very next house, because now that is your what you should be doing in this life is the 11th house, ruled by Aquarius, friends, association, groups, and as you see, your money is right there. That's also your Aquarius is in your money house. So you got to really be a good speaker with these people. And that's why I told you have to really know your 8th house, because Scorpio was in there. And I told you that's where your money was at, with Scorpio. Because that's probably where you're going to meet this guy. And if you notice, Mercury is at 5 and it's at 21. 21 is the world card, which is Saturn. So that's why I'm trying to tell you. This gentleman who appears to have Saturnian energy, he may seem like he's a pain in the neck, but in the long run, he might actually be good for you. And that's your serious relationship with Juno, the number 11 again. All right. Oh, yeah, that's either the Strength card, which is the couple, or the Justice card, which is Libra energy. Then 15 is Capricorn. Your true north node is Capricorn energy. So your medium Coeli with Libra is connected to that 15. Both times it's connected to Capricornian energy. And then they give you 15 again, telling you Jupiter is going to bless you if you tap into that energy. This is why I said, this is why you have to be listening and taking notes. Because otherwise you just listening and it's going in one ear, out the other ear. And then somebody will walk into your life, if they're not already in it, that they fit all this stuff. And you ain't even listening. Now, 2014 to 2016, the universe went out of its way to keep me with my twin all the time. Big old building. I could be way on the other side of that big old building. It's way in the back by myself. And she'd pop up back there. Now, what the heck she doing way back there? But that's how the universe was doing, so we would talk. So we would get past it. But she didn't want to. She is a typical female. Drama, 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 playing hard to get. And y'all get mad when I tell you the truth. My sister did the same thing. I had to break her out of that stupid stuff. But now she's been married going on 15 years. Because she finally learned how to listen. So now, when it finally was over, in 2016, through everything that I do, I was getting word Oh, now she's missing me, and now she's hurt, now she wish she could get me, and now she wish she was back with me, blah, blah, blah. And even more recently, she did it again. So all that time wasted from 2014 to 2016, and now she acts like, oh, I made a mistake, or if I could only have another shot. So this is why I'm going to say it again. Take notes, take it seriously, so that when the universe sends this person to you, or the person might already be there. Because once you start to know people's zodiac signs and stuff like that, you start to know what's going on. And that's why I cover that everything's not going to be roses. Everything's not going to be chocolate candy. Sometimes you got to go through that struggle one way or another. But that's why you have to be proactive and communicate. That's why you have Mercury right there. And we were talking about Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini. And they're both ruled by, well, Mercury rules Virgo and Gemini. So this is Mercury. Yeah, and Mercury and the moon is Thoth, Hermes, Gabriel. And that's why Gabriel showed up earlier. So again, it's going to be shaky though, because it's still got Scorpio energy. So it might be some power struggles and stuff like that. You just have to toughen up and go through it. And then 16 is love, but 16 is Mars and love. So it's still going to be some type of shakeup. And then Pluto is a great transformer. But this is all great power because Pluto rules Scorpio. So your 11th house is your 8th house. That's why you keep seeing 8 and 11. And 8 can be the strength card, which is Leo energy, and that's what you have in your Scorpio. Or it could be 11, which is Libra. And you have Libra in your 10th house. And then your South Node, your past life, in the 11th house is usually your 5th house. And that's what I said. That's a person who's so sensual that they almost lose all that money being sensual. Now, the number 26 is the voice from God. Now, you have to remember, I told you before, Pluto is a planet of the black people. You can go to myastrologybook.com and they'll tell you that. And Sherry Shriner said the same thing. She said all like the melanated people, the people of color, they all came from, they have a connection with Pluto, Scorpio, and Lilith. And if you look on your chart, you got Pluto, Scorpio, and opposite that is the 5th house where you see Lilith. So you may be a lot more than what you believe. You may be tapped back to what's called the gods and the goddesses. But only you can believe that. And like I said, most people could give a fuck less about all of that. All they asking about is some person, some short thing on planet Earth. That's like Jesus Christ coming here. And the first thing he say, like something that don't got nothing to do with salvation, something that don't got nothing to do with fighting evil, going to the cross. But some people say there'll be a great awakening that's going to happen when people start to wake up and realize that you're in a matrix and you got to break up out of it. All right, now look at this. So the next card, now the next natal chart is, I'm just going to say the parent. And right away, look at that. The moon in Libra. Because a lot of people don't realize that. That's how I learned. That's how I started to learn how important my mother was to the universe. Because everything I was going through with twin flames was connected back to her. And everything I was learning about the universe was connected back to her. And this is why it's called Imom Coeli. Imom Coeli is in your 4th house, which is ruled by Cancer. It's the moon and it's the Cancer energy. But that's your mother and your subconscious mind. Imom Coeli. Now, the number 14 is Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy, which is a lot like Libra energy because it's going to balance the two. And that is her first house, Libra. Now, Libras, they like to see things. Libras and Virgos, they kind of see the world from an idealistic viewpoint. And if things don't go their way, they tend to pull back. But again, real world just not like that. Real world, whether you like it or not, is you're going to have to put up with some type of stuff. Or if you like to argue, you're going to be arguing all the time. Now, when you go into her second house, Scorpio's there. Remember, that's the money. But she may find herself in a serious relationship with somebody of Scorpio energy or Taurus energy, and even possibly Pisces energy. But 12 means the hangman. And it's actually Neptune energy. And she's got Neptune right there. The hangman is somebody that'll kind of like go into their own little world and kind of like be suspended. Because he hangs upside down. So, and also you got to be careful. Because that's escapist too. So that's what I'm saying. When you got Neptune retrograde with Scorpio, that's the escapist. But the danger of this, her second house, is, see, that's other people's money. See, your second house is supposed to be your money. So whenever you have other people's money in your money house, that's dangerous, because that can apply misappropriation of funds. And so when you got 12 degrees anything, that's that Neptune energy, which is the hangman, which could actually be any form of isolation or any form of suspension. So it could be legal. Doesn't have to be legal, but it could be legal. And then when you have escapism, you have to really be careful, because you don't see, when you're dealing with other people's money, you can't never escape. Because if you owe, see, and that's debt too. Scorpio deals with debt, so you can't be escaping. When that man call you on that phone, you can't let your little sister, oh, she not here, because he's not trying to hear that. Like, where's so and so? She not here because so and so owe me some money, and where they at? So you don't want no type of escape. Don't no collector or nothing want to see no type of escape or nothing like that. And if this did become a legal issue, still they don't want no type of escape. And see, whenever you see the ascendant is Libra, again, that could be law. That could be legal issues as well. So whenever you see Scorpio in the second house, you have to be very careful, because you never want to get caught up with other people's money. Because if anything goes wrong, you could be held legally accountable for it, or worse. Because Scorpio can also be very violent. That energy coming out the 8th house could be very violent. And then you look at the number 25. The number 25 could be wisdom, analyzing ability, unique perception. An analytical person, intuitive person. See how they do that? Intuitive. See, that's definitely Scorpio. But they don't know that it's Scorpio. They just know number 25, but even they know it's intuitive. And see, 2 plus 5 becomes 7, which can mean mystical. And that's what Neptune is, because Neptune is mystical too. So this can be a very mystical person as well. So this person can be introspective. That's why you had a number 12. That person goes the hangman. They're very introspective, spiritual. So so-called negative side of 25 is they can be too caught up in their thoughts. All right, now those next house we're gonna pass right through because as you see, it's not much in there. That's third house, fourth house, and fourth house is the Capricornian energy. Not a lot there, but usually it could be an old soul or somebody too serious, or it could be the father. Her father could have been too serious. Could imply the husband, not necessarily, but it's usually the family she was born out of. Fifth house is Aquarius. Again, these are the people that you non-traditional dating. Aquarius in the fifth house is non-traditional dating. Dating that will go against the grain of what people would say is normal. And that's a karmic situation at 29. So she has a karmic situation, a karmic love situation with Aquarius energy. And then we want to look at the number 27. Now, if you notice her, she's dealing with a lot of 25. I mean, she's dealing like 25, 27. She got that 29. '27 is non-judgmental, compassion. And that's what we just said. Ancient wisdom, ancient wisdom. They're going to be creative, logical, and worldly and ideal. And that's kind of like if you were listening to what I said about the fifth house. So even when they said ancient, because one of the people I knew, that's what they said. They said in ancient times, if man was with man or woman was with woman, it wasn't that big of a deal. That's what they said. And with Aquarius in the fifth house, that could be, because it's going to go against the traditional way. So that was interesting. Then in the sixth house, the house of service. And look how it goes. Pisces there. And then in the other house, Virgo. So it looked like a lot of service, but look at all those retrogrades. And she got 27s over there and 22. That's interesting. And it's her sixth house, and her Vesta is at number 6. Because Vesta works well with Virgo. So definitely a spiritual house. It is a house of service. 24. And even healing with 28. But it's just got to be careful with 28, because 28 can be excessive, not balanced. And her sun is at 24, which we said is the high priestess or Aries, but now I want to just read it and see if they say anything else. Sometimes they call it the turning point. So it would be something about this service that would be a turning point for them. But as you see, it's opposing the 12th house. So you can even look over there and see it. A whole lot of stuff happening in the 12th house, all those retrogrades. And then there you have it. In the 7th house of relationships, wow. Aries, Mars. So she had it. She definitely had it rough. Like even if she was to say, "Oh no, I didn't," I wouldn't believe her. Look at the Mars, the Aries. Her true north node is 16, which is Mars again, and then that Saturn is number 12. But that's these 12 degrees is Neptune running, getting away. And then her part of fortune is 10, which is Jupiter energy, but it can be 10 is an ending. It's 1-0 ending, but then it goes 1 again. 1 plus 0 becomes 1. Endings and then new beginnings. So her relationship was 16 is the moon. 18. 18 is the moon. So whoever this person was, probably Aries energy. Aries, or could be Libra, but could also be Capricornian energy. But it definitely was combative, and intense. So what a lot of people don't understand is for men too, but especially for women, if they go through something extreme, it's not like you go, "Oh, that was 3 years ago." "Oh man, why she still? That was 5 years ago." Like they keep like they're not like a man might take an ass whipping and he'll get back up and he might deal with it, but he might be able to move on. Some of them can't though. Or with a female, it's not like that. And you gotta remember, with 7 in you pass that off to your offspring. And then deeper than that, but it's all past life. So it's already in DNAs and all. It's all in the air. It's all in electricity. It's all in matter. Like y'all might not believe it, but I've been here long enough to tell you. Like that's all I can tell you. When you look at your scriptures, there was the so-called wise men, or whatever they were called, wise men that knew by a star who this star was the Messiah, and this Messiah would come and bam, 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 he would save the people from their sins, and then he would eventually be nailed to a cross. So I know people like to argue or debate and go back and forth, but a lot of shit, I'm just gonna tell you, is put in place. And not saying that your actions won't alter it a little bit one way or another, but for the most part, it is what it is. And that's why sometimes just if you ever watch your life, you would see a lot of coincidences that you're probably not even aware of. Like if you want to go a certain spot and ain't nobody over there, but the moment you go towards it or go over there, now all of a sudden somebody comes or people come, or just strange stuff that we usually don't cut. Just like I said, even when you driving, you might see a lane that ain't nobody's worrying about that lane, but the moment you try to turn into it, a car just comes shooting in the lane or something. Or when you may turn somewhere and ain't no cars around, to the moment you ready to turn, the car shoot out. That stuff is not coincidental. And the more you learn about what I keep telling you, Mechalexi calls it a quarantine. I call it a matrix or whatever. The more you learn about it, the more you understand it. Just like a lot of stuff. If y'all ever listen to Nania, and she does TI videos, that stuff going that she goes through, that ain't no coincidence. It's not just weird and all that. That's planned. That's calculated and planned out. And like I said, if you were really listening, you would see somebody sat here and put all these numbers, put all this stuff. This is just like how you program a computer, because you program a computer similarly. But if you're in a hologram or a matrix, that would make sense. Because if you ever watch Star Trek, you saw them do that all the time. It was nothing for them to go in a hologram, and it was a simulated reality. And people don't want to go that deep with it, but like I don't know. I'm just a different dude. Like I don't let nobody play me out. And like I say, oh, just enjoy the experience. But is it really joy if your heart is broke? So I think what it really is people with a lot of power are placed here for a reason. And then they gave you the Messiah as an example of that. Because all the stuff about the star and who you really are on the star and your purpose on the star. And a few people will wake up and realize that. But most people stay dumbed down and be worrying about stuff that you can't change anyway. So you'll go through your whole life, where's my twin? And you'll live your whole life. And y'all never connect in this particular lifetime. And not saying something you forget about, but it's not something, it's just common sense. Like you would never go stand at a bus stop where a bus never picked up. Let's say one time that bus was riding and it broke down. So it broke down right at that corner. That one time the bus stopped there because it broke down. And you say, hey, I saw the bus stop there, so I'm going to go stand over there. And they go, no. That bus only stood there that one time because it was broke down. That bus doesn't stop there. And you go, no, but I saw it stop there that one time, and I'm going to stand there until it comes back. And that's what they're doing. Oh, we'll be together. Oh, I had a dream. Oh, I saw the number. But the truth of the matter is, in any other situation, you wouldn't do that. Just like if you needed to ride somewhere, if you call 6 people up and they say, no, I ain't going to take you. No, I can't take you. Nah, I'm not going that way. You're not going to be standing outside waiting for that person to pick you up. And if you called another person, they say, oh, sure, no problem, I could take you. That's the person okay, when you coming? What time you want me to be ready? But you get stuck on stupid when your feelings get involved. So what I say is, if it's meant to be, it will be. But me worrying about it and going all crazy, just because she says, oh, I'm ready, that don't mean she really ready. That's like I go, oh, she's ready, oh, finally. And you go run out, and then because you are hyper and look like a happy, pappy little dog or something, she ain't gonna want you again. You're like, oh, he's too desperate. Trust the universe and just do you. And if it's meant to be, it will be. And if it's not, like I would never wait for any situation like that, because it's already been violent. The whole time I was around her, it was volatile. So there's a whole lot of growing up that has to be done, primarily with her, but both sides. So this house right here, the 7th house, you could tell there was a lot of stuff going on with it. And unfortunately, that's going to carry into her offspring, and whether she talks about it or not. But that would tell you a whole lot of stuff right there. Just look at it. That's extremely aggressive. Like I would hate to meet this person. Saturn, Aries, Mars, even the numerology, like it's almost like hell. It's like being connected to like somebody who's like walking hell. And sometimes people don't talk about. That's why somebody says, "Oh, I hate my mother." Oh, I hate. But you don't know what she's been through. There has to be some type of reason. Sometimes, something they may not be talking about. So that would definitely answer a lot of questions. And then if you notice her Lilith which can deal with repression. It leaves her 7th house and goes into the 8th. But remember, this is the time that the angels gave us. So that Lilith may have been in the 7th house, but we're not sure. And so now she too. But then you know what? But look, her vertex is 18 degrees, and 18 degrees is the moon. So Lilith is the moon. Lilith is the dark side of the moon. So maybe it should be right there. So Taurus in the 8th house can be very sensual. But like I always tell you, it's up to you to really learn what's in the 8th house and the 12th house. That's a lot of stuff. 9th house, Gemini. So it's actually reversed. So they put Gemini in the 9th house to grow up, because Gemini likes to break up. And they put Sagittarius in Gemini to make sure maturity occurred. And then they will go the whole Cancer thing again. See, you and her got like a 10th house connection. But guess what? It's 15 degrees, which again is Capricorn. So that's why I said y'all got a Capricorn connection. And if you look at your chart, both of y'all got that number 15 and 16. Because see, Bobby Hemmett told you that devil card, that devil is a ruler of the black people. And then he said 666 is not bad. He says 666 is 6 proton, 6 melanin, 6 carbon. Now, if you did study your Bible, it talks a lot about the prophet Elijah. And the prophet Elijah coming back before Messiah comes back. And prophet Elijah is known for Mount Carmel. But see, that's carbon melanin. And that's the type of stuff Bobby Hemmett used to teach. And even like what Sherry Schreiner's saying, that Pluto and Lilith, these are the people, these are the gods or the planets of these people of color. And the people that know real history say the people of color are the real children of God. And then you got the fake synagogue of Satan that's about to be exposed in 2019. So I got to talk about it if it's on your chart, because that's what you're seeing. And like I said, when people are not just looking at this for a very low reason, they're looking at it for the real reason. They are going to be saying, wow, yeah, I am noticing these numbers. Yeah, I am noticing Pluto. Yeah, I am noticing Scorpio. Yeah, I am noticing it. Because that's my belief. I think the more people wake up and bring themselves in harmony with the truth, the more they'll see the blessings of the universe in their life. But what you have is most people just want to be dumbed down, and they could care less about all of that. But it's normal if you think it's normal, because you could have been one of the most renowned families on the planet at one time, and where you lived and everything could have been beautiful. But if an opposing army comes and destroys all that, rips you from your parents, and rips you from everything, and I hate to tell you, because this is the sad part, even if they killed your loved ones in front of you, over a period of time, you may forget about that. And before you know it, you might actually be in the courthouse of the same people that killed your entire family. And you're actually supporting their way when their way is wicked. And that's why I said, my job is to tell you what I see. But at the same time, it's going to have to be God that turns the light on. Because most people could care less about it. They could care less about the numerology. They could care less about the placement. They could care less about everything. All they want to know is that my twin? Is that my soul? Is that my twin? And I could see if the person was worth something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could see if like I had met somebody and she's just beautiful. And, oh, I just want to know. But most of these people is breaking your heart either way you look at it. And why? Because nobody's perfect. This is what I see. I'm a little bit older. That's why I don't get caught up on that silly stuff. Sorry. But I would never, when I say silly, I'm just going to put your whole trust and your whole hope in somebody that's not really, they don't feel the same way about you. Are they looking around to find out about you? No. So why are you putting so much in them? I'd rather know why I'm here. That's why I'm be telling you, my life is good. I feel great. Because I already know whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I know all this stuff, from the scriptural stuff to the spiritual stuff to the natal charts. I know all that stuff. And I know whoever put it together knows what they're doing. So why am I going to sit here and keep worrying about it? Especially if nothing's changing. Because just like Angelica said, the more you worry about it, the more you push it away from you. So getting the natal chart like for this, she wanted to know more about her family, and now she's learning some stuff. Because that's a hell 7th house. I wouldn't want to be nowhere near those energies. That's the 7th house. That's supposed to be relationship and partnership and growing together and all that. But this dude, like some psychopath stuff. And again, there's a reason for everything though. And I'm not sure, but I believe that's that master number 44 again. With the 12. Saturn. Just like your Saturn got 44, so do hers. At least that's how it looks on my screen. Alright, so 9th house, so 10th house. Again, a Capricorn, Cancer connection. And that's unique. And again, like I said, Capricorn represents that devil. 11th house, Leo. Right? Yep. 12th house. Well, she got it. Wait a minute. Leo in the 11th house with friends, association, groups. It could be the leader. But it could be, playful, fun, creative, children, childlike. Jupiter retrograde tends to question thoughts, theology, spirituality. All right, give me a moment. Just give me a moment, please. All right. They got a real pretty picture. It's like a female with her back turned, but she's got a, I forget what you call them things, but around 4th of July, you light them up and you hold them in your hand and stuff. Sparklers or something like that. That's such a pretty picture. All right, so I'm going to try to remember to put these pictures at the end of this video, but I can't have no guarantee. And she's looking at the ocean. It's so beautiful. So they're saying that Jupiter retrograde is a far more terrifying monster than Mercury retrograde. Because Jupiter rules over your intellectual growth, the expansion of your souls, and your deepest values as human beings. So it can turn your personal life upside down. How Jupiter retrograde affects you starts deep within. Now remember, this is her 11th house, ruled by Aquarius, and with Leo energy. So Jupiter retrograde in, I believe I said Leo. This is a beautiful. This page is just beautiful. Now this is EliteDaily.com. Here's how Jupiter in retrograde will affect you based on your sign. So if you remember what I just said, you can find this page. It's awesome. Very awesome. Aquarius has two people holding hands sitting down, and all they're showing you is their laps. But inside the female's lap is a cat, and he's sleeping, and he's got disease. This shit is so beautiful. Pisces is Wonder Woman dancing. Just from her body up, though, from her arms up, she's dancing. All right, I gotta try to find Leo again. I must have passed it. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and this is Leo. Normally, you crave the spotlight, wanting all eyes on you. You enjoy being the best and seeing your name in lights. But during a Jupiter retrograde, you may feel like meshing into the background and having a sense of privacy. You'll want to watch someone else go after their success, and maybe you'll become their motivating force. This retrograde will show you that sometimes the most gratifying feeling is helping someone else win first place. So that's what's going to happen. That's what happens in her 11th house. Because of Jupiter retrograde, her Leo energy will actually be used to help other people, friends, association groups, come out into the spotlight. So I'm sure there's a reason for that. But Jupiter retrograde also questions everything. Like it's going to question philosophy. Like if you was in a church, you may start to question like the teachings of the teacher and all that with a Jupiter retrograde. And Leo helps you do it. It makes the person become more bold to do it. Give me one moment. All right. That's your 11th house. But now, Jupiter retrograde also deals with travel. And says you have to be careful because you may lose luggage while traveling. Jupiter and Saturn are the two social planets. Like I said, Jupiter retrograde causes a person to reevaluate ethics, spiritual beliefs, and anything. Laws are questioned. What's acceptable, what's unacceptable. Like if you didn't like something before in the past, but with a Jupiter retrograde, you may start to like it and say, you'll begin to see things that may be beneficial, but you couldn't see it before. Jupiter retrograde helps you remember that everybody is interconnected, so it tries to fight against division. Jupiter retrograde helps you see what people have in common instead of just looking at the differences. So because Jupiter is the ruler of travel, Jupiter retrograde can affect your travel plans, your luggage, your stuff might get lost. You may start to have mechanical problems with your means of transportation. Reservations can get mixed up or canceled. So in a past life, a person with Jupiter retrograde was probably fighting against ethics, fairness, looking for truth, because Jupiter and Sagittarius love to look for truth, looking for deeper meanings. Also, Jupiter retrograde means in a past life, or maybe even this one, a person is looking for scientific or philosophical research. So this type of person may not like just spiritual belief. Like if you try to say, hey, Jesus walked on the water, they're going to say, how? How did a man just walk on water? Anybody else would have drowned. So how did he do it? So they're going to try to look for a scientific or philosophical reason, or they may say, well, that's not, don't take that literally. But they also say that this person may feel a certain way because how other people have spirituality that they believe and it strengthens them, this person may lack that and they don't have that strength. This type of person also doesn't like routine or rituals or blind faith. So now, in a past life, they may have been persecuted for these ideas. So now in this life, they don't necessarily want to talk about it. Even though they have Leo energy and they would be somewhat of a leader, they really don't want to share what they believe or feel inside with other people because they feel like the same thing that happened in the past life would happen again. Some people might say, well, how would they know what happened in the past life? But that stuff a lot of times is deep inside of you. Just like somebody might have drowned in a pool and they really don't want to go in the pool and don't want to be nowhere near no pool. And they may not remember why, but in a past life, they may have drowned in a pool. So this person has got to learn how to listen to their inner voice or intuition. So I don't know if this woman has that problem. If she has a problem listening to her intuition or her inner voice. But that's what she's going to have to learn how to do. Especially if one of her children is deeply into stuff like that. So they're encouraging this person to take little steps. They can start with meditation. They say how meditation helps, benefits of exercise. See, I got problems right now with me, and I just happened to meet somebody who told me to do that exercise. It's called feet up against the wall. It's a form of yoga. And I did a couple of times, had a good result, but I always stay busy. So now my situation is getting worse. So now I did it, because normally I got to take like meds and stuff. So today but I'm sick of always taking meds. So today I did that exercise, and I haven't had to take my meds yet, and it's been a while. So that's what Jupiter retrograde will do too. It'll help you find ways. And they're trying to tell this person to find ways like meditation, anything that'll make you believe in something higher than yourself. Because otherwise, a Jupiter retrograde person may question everything. And if you question everything, you don't know that's going to happen. But if you start to question everything, you may don't believe in anything. So they said start with meditation, start with anything, so that you will start to believe in something again. So when they start to meditate, they can start to listen to their inner voice. All right, so that was Jupiter retrograde, past life. Now in the 12th house, usually when you have Virgo in the 12th house, this person probably will do good with health care. But it can also mean this person might have health problems. But it is all about service. But somehow it looks like them serving kind of didn't go so well. Now, if you notice, 27 is following this person a lot on their chart. And 27 can be 9. 2 plus 7 is 9. And that is Virgo energy. That is the hermit. But see, the hermit goes out in public. The hermit is not like the hangman. The hangman stays alone, stays upside down, suspended by himself. The hermit will go out in public, but they have their own light. They have their own belief system. They have their own things. And that's not always a bad thing. So the number 27 again is good for humanity. It's non-judgmental. And remember, they first started that off in the 5th house. So that person they meet, that Aquarius stuff, will help them be non-judgmental. Because like I always tell people, there can be good and bad in almost anything you do. But what happens when you have standards, certain things you just can't do if you don't want to be judged by the standard. But there's a lot of things that if you did, it would benefit you. And that's kind of like what you're seeing in the 5th house around her chart. Because it's in her 5th house that it helped her learn not to be judgmental, learn compassion and tolerance of others, even if we don't have the same belief systems. So with 27, she's going to teach that to other people, one way or another. So again, because that Virgo is there, you want to go back to her 6th house. And then she's got Pisces there. So she's got a Pisces, and they said that was a turning point. So she has a Pisces Virgo situation that is going to change her, or has changed her. And remember, you got to remember, Pisces and Virgo is Jesus Christ and Mother Mary. It could be Christianity. But again, it could be Christianity, but it could also be another religious faith. And then she got the moon there at 28 degrees. And that's almost the karmic area as well. And her soulmate is there too at 22 degrees, that Palace. And that's usually helping people. Palace retrograde is helping people too. Her Pluto retrograde means something's going to be taken away from her so she can move forward. And that's 21. Karmic. That's the world card. Karmic. Saturn energy. Karmic. And then Uranus retrograde is something that just comes out of nowhere, unexpectedly. But again at 27. And Uranus rules Aquarius. And that's also at 27. 27 degrees Mercury. So her 5th, 6th, and 12th house is really what's going to be her turning point and change her. Leo energy, Aquarius energy, Pisces energy, Virgo energy. Now, her ascendant, Libra energy. But her past life could have also been that Virgo energy. And you saw what she went through with all those auras. But that's definitely a shakeup. But the moon was right there. And remember, the moon rules Cancer, which is a form of Imam Coeli. So then they say go to where your Saturn is, which could also be your past life. And that's a true north node is right there. So then that's Aries energy or Libra energy. And that, to me, that kind of shook her up too. Because like I said, I always tell you all about Dr. Joyce Myers. And it was horrible what her own father did to her repeatedly. Because when I first saw her, I used to say, what's that woman's problem? Because I didn't know. Because I had never seen, like, evangelizers was always talking a certain way because they want your money. So they always seem to have a lot of energy, or they moved a certain way. Like that's a craft, whether y'all know that or not. That's a craft, and they know all that. But she just was different. And I was like, man, what's her problem? Like, when I saw her, it just didn't seem like she had a lot of emotion. But I didn't know. It wasn't my fault. I didn't know. And so then when I started watching her and heard her story, I was like, wow, now I understand. But she admits that she said if it wasn't for what she went through, she may not have gotten into her purpose. Because you got to look, the true north node is right there with all that drama. That's your purpose, true north, that little horseshoe. At 18 degrees, which is the moon again. So that moon energy definitely has something to do with it. So then that's the 7th house of present life. And then when you go to, so her chart is similar to yours in that they took her out of the 7th house, which is ruled by Leo, or they took her out of the 7th house, which is ruled by Libra, which is her past life, and then they put her right back into it with now the 7th house, but now with Aries, but it's still Libra energy. So I could be wrong, but that's probably the same person that she had issues with in the past life before. So that's what you mean by karmic. And you see the number 17. Like right there with the true north node, you see that 17 because that's Saturn or karmic. And then you see Saturn right there. Karmic relationship. And they could be toxic as well. Because I know my twin was almost like living hell. So hopefully that clarified a few things, or shed some lights on some things. Now my audio's at 221. So for me, I might make two audios. It'll still be the same video, but that way, because I don't want to risk. Sometimes when the audio go too long, it doesn't always come all the way out. So we'll see. I'm about to put this on pause. When I come back, we're going right to the next chart, which will be the final of the 3. So like I said, we've reached the time. It's almost like the scriptures all over again. Because when the Messiah came, they really weren't interested in what he had to say. They were interested in his healing. He could heal the people, so they wanted the healing. And they were interested in the food when he used to feed them. But they weren't overall interested in his message or anything. But that did end up with them being terminated. So we kind of reached that time period now. So that's why I say there's a lot of people out here trying to warn people like RFG Chosen One's trying to tell you. But there are people trying to tell you that. So that's why I say I'm more interested in that. Because that money, it's a scripture that says that when that time occurs, they'll be throwing the money in the street. So all these people out here, whether you're a fake ass televangelist or people on YouTube just ripping people off, or the dummies that keep on just wasting their resources and not getting really no truth, all that's not going to be worth anything. So what I'm going to do now is, in this particular, for me it'll be part A, and then I'm going to start a new audio, which will be my part B, but to you it'll sound like the same thing. Before we continue to the chart on the right, the chart in the middle as well, that person may be an empath, may be very sensitive, extremely sensitive. And there's a report on all 3 charts. There are written reports that we have as well. And I went over most of the information, but you may still want to read it, especially for the chart in the middle, because of so many retrogrades and so much. And people ask, well, why would that happen? And there's a lot of reasons for a lot of things. My ultimate answer would be, because otherwise people would say, oh, they did something in previous life and that's the result, or yada yada yada. But my ultimate answer would be that before people entered human bodies, they may have been angels, they may have been spirits, and it may have things to do with that as well. And what I personally learned is we can really mess up our own lives if we're too worried about somebody else's. Because even when you start the book of Genesis, it says a man has to leave his mother, his father, and cleave to his wife. So in other words, there's a time when we have to move on. Like, family is still family. But then you see it again with Joseph. Joseph's family was so dysfunctional that God took Joseph away from his own family because his own family was trying to kill him. His brothers were. So we have to minimize sometimes. And that was one of the first things Jesus said. Oh, I didn't come here to unify. I came here to separate. Either you're going to put me first and listen to me, or you're going to put your family or your kids or somebody first, and then you're not worthy of me. So hearing this over and over again, it just shows you, because what I'm trying to say is you weren't born here just to do what you want, and most people think they are. You're born here for a reason, and you can reject it. You can reject the right way. You can reject the natal chart. You can keep rejecting it, but it's going to come a time when you're going to be rejected. And that's Matthew chapter 7. Everybody's on a broad road to doing what they want to do. I'll do it my way. But there's going to come a time when you're going to have to pay for that. And then that's when everybody's going to be crying out, save me, and you ain't going to get that. You're not going to get that salvation you're looking for at that time, because you weren't looking for it now. So that's why I said, when you know these things, you realize family's family, but you gotta have your priorities straight. For me, God comes first. And then I bring myself back in harmony with what is my universal purpose. And then I move forward. And I trust that whatever I incur in this life, either it's part of that or isn't. And if it's not part of that, I'm not gonna really waste a whole lot of time worrying about it. Because all you usually get is heartache. Every now and then you might meet something that's really worth whatever. But usually just from one, you know. And sometimes even if you meet something with somebody that's kind of good, it'll be in-laws or something else that'll be problems and challenges. It's just it's just the nature of the life you live in. So again, she's getting 3 reports and she should look over every last one of them. And I'll make sure she knows which one is for which chart. And now I'm going to stop this and we're going to open up. Well, no, I already changed the audio so we can go right in. All right, and see, you see it again. Now we've been talking about that Capricorn energy. His chart starts off right with that, but it's a little strange because again his chart is a little bit like the chart on the right. AC is in the 12th house with EP in the 1st house. And we're learning the number 27 is allegedly the teacher of other people. You even notice her number 27 is in her 11th house, and that 11th house is friends, association, and groups. And sometimes it doesn't mean you have to be an official teacher, but you will be in a position where you can actually open other people's viewpoints. And again, you see a lot of retrogrades. Now for him, hers I didn't read her report, the one on the left, because she has 1 Saturn retrograde. I pretty much covered that. The chart on the middle, hers is a lot longer because she has a nice amount of retrogrades. But I went over most of it, but then the person that requested this reading will have that paperwork, that report to read. But his, I just want to read his because it just starts off right away. Capricorn and retrogrades. So I'm interested to see what they'll say. So it says Saturn past life immediately, and again, her Saturn is past life. You know you're dealing with karma. You're going to be dealing with Saturn and Capricorn, but you're dealing with you're dealing with karma, karmic assignment, karmic debt, and also same thing I said about her. Have to work on patience, time delays. You may think you did paperwork for whatever. And the paperwork, like you may think you did paperwork for court and it's over. You may find yourself redoing stuff over and over again. This is a person that probably doesn't get along with authority. In a past life, they may have had fights with authority. They may have witnessed abuse, or they may be abusers themselves. So in this life, they have to learn how to be patient, to hold everybody, including themselves, accountable, and never have any type of abusive. It's just a good thing to know that if it's something you could do yourself, to try to do it yourself instead of telling somebody else to do it. Because that is people may not see it that way, but that's kind of a form of abuse. Because you're trying to get somebody else to do something that's really your responsibility. So they're saying that he seeks a meaningful and purpose life. They say he's always eager to take up responsibilities and to act accordingly. He may see his parents going against the way he sees the world. He strives for success, but does not care much about security and stability. And they said the same thing about the chart on the left hand side, because that's also Saturn retrograde. Saturn retrograde past life experiences. You had a very bad relationship with higher authorities. And we already read that. I already said that information. And once again, they're warning him not to be impatient. They're saying he might be the type of person that's a little rigid. He might only do things if he sees a purpose in it. So they're trying to tell him to learn how to just do things just for the feeling of it and not just for a purpose. Don't be so rigid. They say anybody with a Saturn retrograde must learn how to be patient, and they have to stop looking for cheap shortcuts. Security and mental stability is something that he would need to pay heed to. Now, his Saturn retrograde is in his first house of Aquarius, even at 1 degree and 3 degrees. 1 degrees would be the magician card. And that's a person that speaks and everybody follows. Number 3 degrees is the Empress card, and that's a very creative, very creativity. And like I said, Saturn retrograde can imply abuse, some type of abusive situation. So it might have been an abusive situation with an Aries. And that's what you have over here in her 7th house, an Aries or a Aquarius. And if you notice, Aries and Aquarius are unique to the chart on the left. And then it says Uranus retrograde. Because of his Uranus retrograde, in this life, he's probably rebellious and revolutionary. He may really become an anarchist. Running at a different pace and on a different track. In a past life, he has also been rebellious and revolutionary, ready to jump in any battle which he feels the need. They're saying if you're a Uranus retrograde, once a rebel, always a rebel. He can foresee obstacles with his intuition, which is the transformed form of his experiences from a number of past lives. Nobody knows better than him the necessity of a few back steps for the longer jump. People may like him because of this, but no one will want to be like him. It's like in the 1970s, they had all these people come out, like Burt Reynolds and other people, and in their movies, they was always snubbing at the cops, and they was always talking back to authority. So you might look at those type of people. You might even know some. You might even be one of them. But you might even know some where you say, hey, I really like that guy. He told that cop where to go and blah, blah, blah. But that don't mean you want to be that person, because you don't want all that heat that's going to come. So Uranus retrograde means he's got to learn that. Learn how to compromise. Uranus retrograde is too extreme. Either too hot or too cold. They really don't have a middle ground. So they have to learn the middle ground in this life. So that's with that Capricorn. So let me do this first. So all right, Uranus, Neptune retrograde, 16 degrees. Again, Mars attack. Mars energy attack on shake stuff up. His AC, which is the ascendant, the sun going over the horizon when he was born, is still 19 degrees. Still going to be sun energy. Temperance energy number 14. Anywhere you see 14 degrees on any of these charts, like her AC is also 14 degrees. That's also called temperance or Sagittarius energy, but it's also called the angel card or the gateway to hell. The gateway to hell. So you have to be very careful. And you could say it, like I already said, her ascendant is the gateway to hell. And when you go to her 7th house, which is ruled by Libra, that's exactly what you see. So again, with his Uranus retrograde, he's got to be careful how he responds, because again, he could actually be putting his own self in that gateway. And then the part of fortune at 2 degrees. And also he's got a curious means nurturer. So at 27 degrees, like I said, he could really be diplomatic though as far as teaching other people. A nurturer. So let's do part of fortune in the 12th house. We'll do part of fortune in Capricorn first. This is all about form, structure, bridges, focus. But you just have to be careful because Uranus is retrograde, because he'll flip out and tear it all up. The structure, he'll tear it up. See, Uranus retrograde is almost like saying somebody's bipolar, because it'll come out of nowhere. So when you're dealing with part of fortune in Capricorn, you then got to look to the opposite where you see Cancer. And ironically, his Cancer actually has nothing there. So yeah, because see, that would explain it. See, remember, now think about what I said. Remember, who does Cancer represent? Cancer represents that mother, Imon Coeli, the fourth house. But the fourth house, like I said, teenage to adult education, land and property, real estate, family and ancestors, the heart, vehicle and travel, or whatever woman raised you when you were younger. That's in the mother position. That's Imam Coeli. She will be in your subconscious mind for your entire life, but she's also connected to the moon and Cancer. So you see how his Capricorn is. I just got finished telling you about bipolar and unstable and all that. And when you go right across to his Cancer, ain't nothing there. So Cancer in the sixth house is kind of offering home, whatever, home healing, mother home. But that's all. That house is all about healing, but it also can be about young children as well, the small animals. Could be about co-workers and subordinates. So let's read that again. And I don't know where. Okay, part of fortune. That's where we were at. All right. So they gave you Cancer. First they gave you Capricorn as the ascendant. But then they told you look over to the opposite house where Cancer is. So they say this is nebulous, emotional, watery, freely relying on intuition and gut feeling, because that's what the mama do. So they say allow the energy of Cancer into your life, brings you the ability to experience deep joy in your accomplishments and to freely accept help from others without giving up your authority. But for some reason, he has a problem with accepting that Cancer energy. And her Cancer right there in the 10th house, which is also Capricorn, at 15 degrees, which is also Capricorn. So that's a good mystery. And also in her 4th house is Capricorn. So I don't have the chart, but if I had to give an answer, I said it's some type of father thing. Which sounds crazy. It could be anything. Like a father not there. I'm not saying this is the case, but it could have been a boyfriend or a stepfather beat his ass or some shit. But if you're looking at both these charts, if you're looking at the right chart and the left, you have some type of Capricorn Cancer thing going on. And see, they oppose each other. So that could be why he's having a problem, because his Capricorn energy is effed up because of those retrogrades. And when you look at her, she has a strong Capricorn Cancer presence on her chart. You can't get past it. 4th house and 10th house. So in my opinion, he's actually rebelling the Capricornian energy associated with her. So that could have been the husband, boyfriend, or some stuff. And that's why I said a lot of times you don't know why, because everybody ain't going to tell you everything. Somebody could have went through something horrible. That don't mean they're going to tell you. Because we can see it on her chart. Like with her 7th house, you can see it. Because even in his 12th house, even his Curious is retrograde. That means like no nurturing. So his 12th house is really in, I guess you could say, Pisces. So he could have had an experience in any of those areas. Pisces. And then when you go to his Aquarius, because see, Uranus retrograde rules Aquarius, and when you go to his Aquarius, you see it again. You see Capricorn, you see Saturn retrograde, and that could be abuse. So I'm telling you, he probably has some Capricornian issues one way or another. But it seems to be connected to his mother. So that Saturn retrograde energy keeps attacking his Aquarius. So that's like your belief system, how you view other people, how you feel about yourself around other people. All that's been attacked by Saturn retrograde. Just like Saturn attacked her in the 7th house. And then Saturn attacked the one over here in her 4th house, in her 3rd house, Gemini energy and Pisces, which is being inspirational. So they've all had like a Saturn Capricornian attack. Don't know if it was the same dad. Believe it or not, it could actually be a spirit. But it's there. And even if it's through the mother, because maybe she had a bad experience with Capricornian energy. Because see, with her Capricorn, like her 10th house is 15 degrees. That's still Capricornian energy. And then right it's 16. 16 is Mars attack. And then if you go to her 7th house, you see Mars. And that's a relationship. Mars and Aries. And then Saturn is right there, which rules over Capricornian energy. So on all three of these charts, Saturn and Capricorn is not necessarily a good energy for them. But remember, Saturn is karma, karmic debt, and it teaches lessons. It's also payback. Because Saturn's like that police officer that stops you and gives you a ticket or arrests you. Saturn's like that judge in the courthouse that sends you to jail. And universally speaking, you probably did something to get that, or it might have just been God's will for you to go through that experience for whatever reason. And Lilith is there too. Lilith retrograde, but she's in a 2nd house with Pisces. Third house, Gemini energy with Aries. 4th house, Cancer energy with Taurus. 5th house, Gemini again with Juno and Mars. Again, 20 degrees is Judgment. 18 degrees Juno is the moon. and this is Gemini. But see, Gemini rules the third house. As soon as you go to his third house, they go Aries again. See, if you're looking at this, you can see like Aries, Mars, Saturn, and Capricorn is really fucking them up. And I had to say it that way because that's what it is. Aries, Gemini, Saturn, and Capricorn is really doing these people dirty. And you say, well, how can we figure it out? Because if you had the chart, which I'm assuming is the person in the middle, that person. But here's how it gets tricky. Because I'm only telling you what I'm seeing. It could definitely be a male dominating energy, because that's what I think it is. But with her fifth house, that could go either way. Because you just have to see the charts. And then you would have your answer. So then his sixth house got Cancer in it, which is family in the home. Seventh house, Leo. Chiron at 15 degrees, healing. The moon is 16 degrees, which can be Mars again. It seems like wherever he has a chance to love, they give him 16 degrees. So if that's the same female, either she gonna have some drama, or she might be a drama queen, or him and her might have drama together. Because they gave him Juno. Well, they gave him Juno at 18 degrees, but that's still a moon, and then he's right next to Mars. So either way, Mars, rather say Mars 20 degrees, it's still Mars. Mars is 16 degrees energy, and 20 is just judgment degree. 20 degrees is judgment today. Judgment degree energy. And then when you go up to his Leo, and the seventh house of relationships and love, you get it again. The moon is 16 degrees. Chiron at 15 degrees, which is Capricorn energy. Moon at 16 degrees, which is Mars energy. And then Mercury at 17 degrees, which is Saturn energy, or karma. And now, if I'm not mistaken, I think 17 degrees is the star, which is Aquarius energy. But let's check it out. Yep. So the number 17 is a star, which is Aquarius energy. Mercury. But it's still karmic. Now go to where his Aquarius is. Saturn, karmic. So they're letting you know this is a karmic relationship. With Leo energy in the seventh house. And that Leo takes you back to the fifth house where you see Juno. So pretty much it looks like the same person. But they definitely got some type of karmic relationship, which is going to have like intensity of Mars. And then when you want to do the 25 again, wisdom, analytical abilities, perception. And it goes mystical because 2 plus 5 is 7. Mystical, diplomatic, intellectual, logical, sensual. And that's them working together. So she would help him be that. Those things I was saying. She would help bring that out of him. And I don't think we saw his... Okay, his palace is over there. We gotta wait till we get to his palace. Now... And the 8th house is Virgo. So once again, that's the home. But remember, the 8th house is a lot of stuff. But it is pretty much occultic, supernatural. But the 8th house is a lot of stuff. You got Virgo there, the home. So in his home, he's got Cancer, which is 6-9. But then in his 8th house, he's got Virgo in the 8th house. So that's like 6-8. And that's creativity at number 3. So he may be able to use like he may be able to take the stuff that's in the 8th house and make it more medical, like that's Virgo. That's health and healing. So you might find a way to use alternative herbs or alternative science, alternative medicine. Or he may be selling stuff for like when I say home, because you could be on the corner selling, but you still live at home or you whatever. That's kind of the connotation that's being given here, and you see he's making money off of it because they go Jupiter, so you know he's making money, and plus Venus is money too, but it's just judgment. See, they go that 20 degrees again. That's why people don't understand. See, when you see it in astrology and you see Venus is right there, because the dude might say, look, I want to be with this woman, but I can't get no job, or the job don't pay enough, and blah, blah, blah. I know what I'm going to do. So he starts selling real quick stuff. But if he saw his natal chart, you're going to make some money, but it's going to be used against you. At 20 degrees, that's judgment. And then, you find yourself incarcerated. And ironically, I'm just going to keep it 100. Just look. I'm not making this shit up. The very next sign is Libra, which could be prison. It's court system, justice, prison. And then look at Vesta. I told you Vesta is incarceration. I told you Vesta is isolation. It's heat, but it's also isolation. If you're in court and they're going to put some time on your ass, that's heat on your ass. And then look, it's judgment again, 20 degrees. You see my point? And that's why I just got finished saying about my older sister. See, one of her biggest problems was she was always talking to my mother like garbage. And that kind of sped up her earlier death. And also because the scriptures tell you don't talk reckless to your moms or your dad. So like even if they're guilty, like I said earlier, like an older man, like a spiritual man, you gotta watch what you say, because you might feel a certain way, but that man is still called by God. See, y'all knew people might forget that shit. But people that have been around for a while, they knew. And you saw people dying early and all kind of crazy stuff. It's just stuff you didn't do. And that's why I say out here nowadays, because of YouTube, everybody thinks they can make a comment. And everybody thinks they can say whatever they want to. But you're still dealing with spirits. You're still dealing with a whole lot of stuff that y'all ain't going to be ready for if it starts to attack. So that's why I tell people to be careful. Now, when you look at his chart again, so that's what you're kind of looking at. And it's all with this female. Number 20 started popping up with the female. Not saying she's bad, just letting you know. So that's why I said people don't have their natal charts, and then you're in jail, and you think you're in jail because I was just trying to be a man. I was just trying to provide finances for me and my female. Now, she probably fucking somebody else while you in jail. And second, on your chart, it was a setup. So like it was a setup in the Garden of Eden. So that's why I said, when you understand the spirit that runs everything, and RFG Chosen One did a recent video trying to let you know where you're really at and what's really going on. But if you want to stick to the stuff you was taught, that was basically some fake stuff given to you by people that overthrew your ancestors, raped your ancestors, overthrew you, took your whole spiritual connection and separated, all the stuff they did. But no matter how much you believe that garbage, your natal chart will always show you the truth. And remember, that 8th house is considered hell. Pluto rules Scorpio. In your Bible, Revelation chapter 9, that is a Scorpio. That's Hades. That's Pluto, the bottomless pit. And Sherry Shriner said that's where the black people come from. And myastrologybook.com says that Pluto and Scorpio is like the planet and the constellation of the black people. So I'm not making it up. So 2 and 4 means what? Number 2, High Priestess, which is the couple, male and female. Number 4 is Aries energy. Aries is just aggressive. Now, the goal is to try to make 2 plus 4 become 6, because 6 is the number of the lovers, and it's also the number of Venus. But right here, what you see is people struggling because they want to get that money for that relationship. And remember, Jupiter is the father of Venus. And sometimes that's when you see an older man and a younger woman. Usually it's an age difference. It could be an older woman and a younger man, but it's that way. But here you're seeing judgment at 20 degrees. And then in the very next house, and I told you, the 9th house, you don't necessarily want to see Libra in the 9th house, because that's higher courts. Higher courts mean when you get caught, you're going to do longer time. See, that's not the state. It's not local government. It's not the state. The state will say 3 years and you'll be out in 9 months with parole. The feds say 15 years and you'll be out in 14 years in 6 or 7 months. Ain't gonna be no parole. Ain't gonna be none of that. And you see, it's judgment. And I always told y'all all the time, whenever you see Vesta in Libra, the 12th house, or certain locations, be careful, because it's telling you it's a good indication this person gonna be doing some jail time. Now, if you still think I don't know what I'm talking about, look at this Pluto. Once again, 20 degrees. Now, if I pulled out the tarot card, Judgment card, it would correspond with planet Pluto and its judgment, or 20 degrees. And that's the number of the card, 20. So he's got judgment all over, because unfortunately, you're dealing with a fool in love. A fool in love. And that number 8 is not a good number for him, because that number 8 is going to connect him to that Scorpio energy, or his 8th house, which corresponds with his female, one way or another, and that's going to be trouble for him. There is no fast way. And they said that about Saturn retrograde, because they want to take shortcuts and take fast. There's no fast way. At some point, you get caught. And the sad thing about the life you live, the person you got in trouble for, they don't even be faithful to you when you in jail. They banging out your best friend or something. Now I'm real curious, because on my chart, I can't even make out what that other number is. I see number 20. That looks like number 32. I don't even know if that's in numerology. Because see, I know when they kind of making a joke out of something, just the way they did that. I'm talking about the creators. Or is that 22? We'll see. I'm gonna get the clearer version of this chart. I just want to know what that number is, because to me it looks like they're trying to make a message. $32. Now you notice we haven't seen no 32s out here the whole time we did. We've been out here a long time. So why they put a 32 right there? And I also want to go back to the 7th house real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, back to Cancer. Let me do it again. No, Leo, 7th house. Okay. Yeah. We already 17, 16, 15. All right, so that number 32, which I'm pretty sure they're not going to give me on this page I was using. Nope. And I'm very interested in that number. All right, so now we're going to try it a different way. We're going to try 20 degrees Libra, but they may not give me the answer that I need to get, but I'm going to try it that way. Give me a moment. $20 degrees Libra. Intelligent, conceited, wily character. Instead of focusing on hard work and enhancing one's skills, one spends too much time plotting and gossiping. But it won't take long before people understand one's dishonest nature and spreads the word. So they told me he's going to get snitched on. I hope it ain't the female that snitches on him and shit. See, y'all got to know how this world really works. You could be with a female. I'm just keeping it 100. You could be with a female. But if for some reason she want to be with another nigga or whatever, she'll snitch on you and shit. And if you get in an argument with that bitch and you like a drug dealer, she be done got mad or something told on your ass. So they say this nigga gonna get snitched on. Now I'm at astraltheme.com. This is numerology, the degrees on your birth chart or your natal chart. It is necessary to adopt a more respectful behavior in order to earn back the esteem of friends and colleagues and avoid serious setbacks. So they agree with what I'm trying to tell you. But there's still a reason why they put that number 32 there. All right, just bet. Come on, man. All right. Give me one moment. So this is Affinity Numerology.com. 32 resonates with sensuality, optimism, curiosity, teamwork, companionship, and relationships are also in the mix. But that's my point. You get in trouble because you're trying to impress some broad. 32 is willing to take risk. And right next to this page, just so y'all know I'm not lying, right next to this page is this sucker on his knees holding some broad's hand. The same broad that's going to rat your stupid ass out and get you locked the fuck up. And fuck another guy while you're locked up. I can't make this shit up. So they're like 32 just goes with the flow. Doesn't really question anything. Doesn't worry about it. They're so high off love or wit or some other adventurous mentality that they ain't thinking about the results of their actions. That's why I be telling people, watch how you talk to your moms and shit. Because you think it don't matter. But at some point it do. Take it from a dude that been around for a long time. See, 32 is a symbol of justice. And there's even a book down here called Parole. That's funny. The name of the book is called Parole and shit. Now, this is at writingthebeast.com. Again, I'm going to take a picture of this. And then I'm going to put all these pictures, if I don't forget it, at the end of this video. Now, just to let y'all know, if you was in Freemasonry, 32 would be their highest degree before you had to be initiated into 33. And that's supposed to be the highest degree of Freemasonry, but that could be an untruth. So this might be an initiation for them. Just like what Adam went through. That was an initiation. But in order to get a man to do something stupid, you had to throw a woman out there. Because that whole tree of life and all that stuff in the Garden of Eden, at the end of the day, that was an initiation. And that's what God did. He set Adam up with Eve. And Eve, her name is evening or the night or the darkness because that's the initiation. Now, if you think I'm wrong, all you got to do is read John chapter 3. If you notice, Nicodemus came in the nighttime. And they started talking about being born again, going back in the womb and coming out. That's an initiation. If you read John 13, when Judas betrayed Jesus, it said that Satan entered Judas. Judas betrayed Jesus, and then Judas went out, and it was night. So you're going to keep saying night or evening. This is all these are initiations. But it's still going to be rough. It ain't like, oh, you just get initiated and somebody shake your hand and give you a ring. Initiation can be beat down and raped in prison. It could be hell. And we started off telling you about Joyce Myers. Because this is what you're looking at on these placements. And I know it's rough, but here's the deal. You still got to learn it. I'm going to say it again. The faster you learn where you're really at and how the world really runs, you'll make better decisions. And in the long run, you'll be way better off. Otherwise, like I said, it's bubblegum astrology where these people are risking everything for stupid stuff. And they're going to keep on making the same mistakes. And the more you push yourself away from God, then when that day comes, like you keep seeing all this judgment. Right now, I'm going to do that too. The last thing you're going to see at this video is the judgment card, number 20. And that's when Gabriel blows that trumpet of Matthew chapter 24, 30 to 44, and 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, 14 to 17. See, these people that gave you all this stuff, they're a lot smarter than you. They know what's going on. See, they're not dumbed down. They don't just go, oh, where's my twin? What about my twin? They understand what number 16 means. Trump Tower, 16 card, the tower coming down, Trump Tower. Soon as Donald Trump took over, they had problems at Trump Tower. Why? Because that's number 16. There's a video out here on YouTube about that. But y'all can believe what you want to. But they're trying to tell you that Trump is about to blow. All right. So that's his ninth house, definitely implying you will unwittingly put yourself in jail trying to impress some broad. And they even implied he might be ratted out. Well, who's going to rat him out? Remember, Jesus Christ got betrayed by a rat, one of his people, and then had the nerve to kiss him. You betray me with a kiss? So now we go again in the Scorpio. We already said that Scorpio is going to be a downfall for him. And there go that number 6 again. And I told you, it could be love, but the lovers can also mean doubt, which means they're not getting along too good. I already told y'all that. They go to number 6 again. Medium quality, which is part of your true life purpose, your true, why you're here, your true north node. Medium quality can also be the mother as well. Could also be the father as well. Then there goes Pluto again, the great transformation. And remember, death and rebirth. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Initiation, death and rebirth. Do I have to die, go in my mother's womb and come out? That's John chapter 3. Does a man go back in his mother's womb and at that nighttime is the underworld? So you see it again at 20 degrees, but it ain't just 20. It's 2021. What do we say about the number 21? That's the world card. Correspond to what planet? Saturn. So it's karmic. And again, like I said, people can get choked up. They can get emotional. But I'm going to tell you again, there has to come a time when you just have to realize where you're really at. The moment you accept that fact, you'll deal with things better. Instead of thinking somehow you're going to escape or find real love and all this other stuff. Oh, it's all escape. You got to deal with where you're really at. Just like when you become a parent, same thing. You can't just close your deaf ear. I get a lot of people that want to do that. They don't want to talk about reality. They just want to talk about silly stuff. Just like some of the worst stuff done to me out here was by people that go love and light. If you knew how many people that go love and light have attacked me for no freaking reason. Just like this person. Just send me the email. When they just sent me 4 emails back to back yesterday. Now you're going to send me an email and tell me remove you off. Why are you sending me emails? These are the same people going love and light and everything else. Because they're playing a game. This is bubblegum astrology. And then when they finally get tested, they lose their freaking mind. And she's not, I got tons of people that do this. Because they play a game with the universe, and then the universe finally says, okay, time to test you. That's all your Pluto retrogrades and Saturns and all that. It's time for your test. How are you going to fare out? And most people don't fare too well. Because they don't care about none of this crap. All they want to know is, where's my love? Where's my love? Oh, I want to be a singer. Money, money. What about money? Nothing about what's my life purpose. Why am I here? How can I deal with this? This is not easy. This planet is not easy to be on when you take it seriously. That's why most people stay high or stay want to have sex with somebody or running around playing around on YouTube or some other childish behavior. Because they don't want to deal with the reality. But unfortunately, it's not going away. And I'm going to say it again. Once you understand it, it's not as bad as you make. But we make it bad because we become fearful. And when you become fearful, you make everything bad. Now we step into his 11th house. Once again, Aquarius energy. Now his first house shows us that his Aquarius energy is under Saturn karmic assignment or karmic debt. But that's his true north node. But again, now why is Sagittarius right there? Think about what I just said. Because now after you did a little bit of jail time, now we're a little bit more mature. And maybe that's what, that friendship group and all that is inmates. Who knows? But that Sagittarius energy is going to make him be a little bit more responsible, a little bit more mature. And Pallas is 19 degrees. So it's kind of good to see Pallas there because Pallas represents your soulmate helping you. So maybe she'll help him through that process. And it's also the sun. Good fortune also deals with past life, present life. But only good fortune isn't in the 11th house, it's in the 12th. Yeah, we already did it. We already did his 12th house. Now, the sad thing about his true north node is 28 means like extremes. And they hit him with a 31. See, if you notice his chart, like his mother's chart went like 27s a lot, stuff like that. But his chart went into the 30s. Because neither one of these charts went into the 30s. Like he got a 38 and a 31. And 38, see that 19 degrees is 19 times 2. But that's probably the soulmate. So that's kind of like implying that's probably the best thing that could happen to him. Because they give it to him twice. They give him 19 twice. And 19 is the sun. And Pallas represents your soulmate. All right. All right, give me a moment because we're gonna get answers to this. I'll be right with you. Just give me a moment. Notice how, like I said, as soon as it went to that jail, it jumped up into the 30s. And I told you that's an initiation. Remember, in God's eyesight, the jail is hell. It's Hades, it's hell. It's also death and rebirth. Peter comes out of jail in Acts chapter 12, right after the cutting off, the beheading of something. The beheading of someone, but then that's when Peter goes into jail. So that represented Peter dying and then coming back out of jail, and he tried to go to see Mother Mary, but he was stopped where? Remember I just said the gates of hell? That's where he was stopped. He was at the gates. This is in your Bible. Acts chapter 12, he was stopped at the gates, and Rhoda wouldn't let him in. So he never got in the house to see Mary because he got stopped at the gates by Rhoda. All this is about initiations and things like that. So bear with me because we really need to know more about number 31 and number 38. All right. Oh, look at this. Somebody ruled by 38 is the moon. I told you. The moon's all over his chart. I already told y'all that. Number 38 is somebody ruled by the moon. All right. So he's got 31 at his true north node, and 28. I want to look at 28 again. Then they're kind of saying 28 could be a business number. I'm not done yet, so make sure you're listening. 28 could be a business number, but again, I'm telling you it's associated with incarceration based on what we saw. It's kind of like when somebody goes to jail and they kind of learn a trade. Because there's two ways you can kind of look at it. It's either going to jail and learning a trade, or because the ninth house is where he has a legal problem, and Sagittarius rules the ninth house. Or this is the pre-arrest, where that was his business. Because 28 usually means greed. It's business greed, just to let you know. But it could be business, but it's still business greed. And still by business greed, you finally get caught or whatever. And I'm only doing that by the whole chart. So don't think I'm adding anything. I'm not adding anything negative. I'm showing you what's on that chart. So they're saying if you were to break the number up to 2 and 8, 2 would be a person, could be your partner. Passive, introspective, but the number 8 is more, I'm going to get it, more materialistic, I'm going to get it. So that's almost like, not saying that's the case, but the guy and the girl, and one of them is just real materialistic, but that extreme materialism is going to lead to trouble with the law. But either way, when I see 20, I usually just go greed. And I've been doing that. I don't always break that number down because I've seen it on charts, and it usually means excess. It means greed. Like you ain't gonna stop. You ain't gonna stop till them boys in blue pull up. And even then, if you could find a way, you would do it. You would keep going. So that's what I said. When you see 28, it's a sign for you to seek balance. Again, balance is out of balance. Greed, extremities, greed, no balance. All right, so that's it for your 28. Now we'll do 31. 28, 31. But he's good at it though. Practical, creative. So they're talking about number 31, but let's check it out. Where is it at? Yup, it's on the true north node. But that's exactly, they're saying if it's in his life path or destiny. So you can kind of say it is. All right. So that was 38. That was 28 degrees, 31 minutes. True north node. And then 1938. We already know the 19 is the sun. But now 38. So number 38 is about relationships. Just like I said, he's doing it because of her. And they keep saying the relationship sustains themselves through creative expression. Didn't I say that? Man, I got to take care of my girl, blah, blah, blah. But these are all the reasons why people get into the drug game. Or fast money, any type of fast money. I'm trying to raise a family. I got to take it. And they keep using the word coexistence and working together. But when the cops come, usually it's the dude taking the fall, usually. Unless it's 50. 50 will try to get 50 will try to get the female to take the fall. But most dudes will take the fall. All right, and then okay, now this is another one. Riding the Beast, number 30, right? Where's it at? Right? Oh, that's another one. Where's Riding the Beast, though? When Riding the Beast, number 38. Okay. This is Riding the Beast, number 38. See, they said it's the man that got cured by Jesus at the pool of Bethsaida. But I told you that. After coming out of jail, being more reformed. And ironically, he even says, now I'm at writingthebeast.com. So they're associating the number 38 with the devil. And that's what I told you. All that Capricorn, all that 15, just like I told y'all. All right, then it's another 38. So they say this is a lucky name numerology. Number 38 means you are ruled by the moon. Look at what it says. Moon does not have self-effulgence. It shines only in borrowed glory. But that's what I told y'all. Do anything for a broad. Not like I'm making it up. Y'all can be mad at me, but I'm not making this shit up. You excel only when you work for others. 38 means you have a deep faith in something, but that's the problem. You're putting your faith in a human a female, and you fucking your life up. Cause like how people think, they say, "Well, I'm gonna make a lot of money, or fast money, or I'm gonna have so much money," but they're not looking at the whole thing. They're not looking at court, jail, what happens when you get in prison. They ain't looking at none of that shit. And then once you get caught, that's all you can look at, because that's where you going. And then you're gonna be saying, "I wish I didn't make that mistake." Yeah, but you should have thought about that before you made the mistake. Then you wouldn't have made it. So that's what she said. She said, if you're gonna put faith in somebody, put it in God. They said number 38 can take you to a great heights of power and terror, like Adolf Hitler. Well, the great power is when you on the street and you making all that money. The great terror is when they put your ass in jail and you see real criminals. And then they said when you talk about the number 838, you also got to remember Saturn. Now remember, this is everything I've already said. This is how you know I know what I'm talking about. Lucky name numerology. And it's hyphens. Lucky-name-numerology.com. So now they say they're associating the number 38 with Saturn. And it says sad endings. Numerology for 38 revealed that one develops enemies from his own circle. I told you. That's the second time I told you he's going to get ratted out. I told you. That's the second time. They harm him. Unsteady moon. And didn't I tell you earlier? She's saying the same thing I've been saying. Unsteady moon and evil Saturn make him meet with an unexpected sad end. That sad end would be prison. The unsteady moon is some female whose emotions are going to be all over the place, probably be sleeping with the same people. Set them up. And evil Saturn, I already told you, this is some karmic stuff, some karmic debt, and it's all over all three of y'all's charts. So she says Saturn in 8. Saturn in 8 punishes you with his revenge. Jupiter in 3 makes you born to serve. Moon in 2 makes you waver. And remember, what did I tell y'all? Let's see what she said about 3. 3 makes you serve. Okay, you're going to serve a female, trying to make her happy, and then you're going to serve some jail time. Now, y'all heard what I said. It's kind of funny. You ain't see no 3s. You ain't see no 30s or nothing until you got to his chart. Then all you started seeing was anything with 3s in it. That's why I said this is nothing to play with. I'm sorry people out here hate me, but y'all really going to hate me when the end comes and all this shit going to come down and the reality is going to show you that what I said was true. And I feel sorry for y'all. The ones that ain't listening. The ones that think this is a joke. The ones that think they can go wherever they want and pick whatever they want and choose whatever they want. All that bubblegum astrology going to get ate up. And let me tell you why y'all going to pay. Because y'all was stealing from the spirit realm and not giving back. Let's say you went to a psychic. So you and the psychic is going into the spirit realm getting all this information, but you're not really paying homage to the spirit. You say, oh, no, I paid the psychic. That's not what I'm talking about. You didn't pay homage to where you got the information from. You just took and kept it moving. So that means you have a debt you have to pay. Just like if I was in the military, I can't start stealing military equipment and selling it or giving it to my friends. That equipment don't belong to me. That's why I said I'm a servant out here. None of this belongs to me. All I'm doing is passing on the message. All right. So that was interesting. So that's his true north node. That's this life. Now, go across, right across, go to his past life. In the 5th house, that Leo energy, which we've also been talking about. But it might have been too much fun. And also, I hate to say it, but I always told you, when you see Mars in the 5th house, that could have something to do with little children, some type of abuse. And when you see Gemini in the 5th house, because Gemini is the 3rd house, 5th house, like this is a highly creative person, like Michael Jackson was. But what Michael was always with little kids, and then he had those accusations. And a lot of people, just because it's Mars, any form of abuse to a child is abuse, whether it's physical. Because as soon as they see Mars, they think it's physical. It don't have to be physical. It's still abuse. That's why they use words like assault. Like if you touch a young child, they go assault. Say, I didn't hit her. Don't matter. It's assault. So that's that whole Mars thing. It's still assault. So I'm not saying that's the reason why karmic, but that's kind of the indication in this life. And then you see the moon again. She just told you about the moon being unsteady. But I had already told you this, because 18 degrees is the moon. So that's as far as I can go. And then I will have the reports, because there's the 3 reports for both of these, all 3 of these charts. That'll be coming over to the person who requested this. And again, what can you take from this? Seriously. First off, people keep ignoring what I'm saying. Get your natal chart. That's your universal obligation. Find out what's going on with it so you can bring yourself in harmony with what the universe is telling you to do. That's why your Bible gave you Matthew chapter 2, verse 2. They found the Messiah by his star or his natal chart. It was by that natal chart that they knew exactly who he was, where they could find him, and what his purpose was. That comes directly from God for you. That is your personal Bible from the Creator. So to shun it is to shun your Creator. And I'm telling you again, when it comes time for him to end this, he's going to shun you. Now, all you got to do right now, RFG Chosen One has dropped at least 2, maybe 3 videos, new videos. Most recent videos explain a lot of this. And if you watch RFG Chosen One, he also talks about your natal chart. Anybody out here anybody that has any common sense is telling you how important you knowing your natal chart is. But it still has to be done by somebody that really knows what it is. Not this stuff they don't even know what they're talking about. You're wasting your time. That's like buying bootleg. That ain't gonna do you no good. That's like when you see somebody walking around like they think they're a gangster and they walking around with some fake ass gun. What's gonna happen when a real gangster pull up with a real gun? You ain't gonna do nothing when you pull out your piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? He gonna kill you and your jungle. What's gonna happen when you pull your trigger? A flag gonna come out like a Bugs Bunny commercial or a Bugs Bunny cartoon. What's gonna happen? All that fakeness. Now, having said all that, that's why the Bible gave. There was a time when Jesus Christ had to walk away from his own family because he was spiritual and he had a spiritual obligation taught to him by his star or his natal chart. They didn't listen. They thought it was stupid. They didn't think he was the Messiah. So it came a time when he had to walk away from his own family. Mary knew who he was, and it was times when he had to walk away from Mary. When they was outside, he said, hey, Jesus, your mother's outside. He said, ain't my mother. He said, these people inside with me, that's my mother, my brother, and my sister. As long as she's outside and doubting me, he didn't perceive her as mother. All this stuff is in your Bible. Joseph had to be taken away from his brothers and his family because they tried to kill him. Because they tried to stop his prophetic purpose. Just because you're in a government or you're in a place that's lying to you about the Bible, lying to you about history, lying to you about everything, it don't mean you obey them above God. Or you can act like this conversation never happened. But I'm telling you, you are going to be called into You saw all these 20s, all this judgment. That's going to be you. Now, again, the more you realize that you're here, it's only so much you can do. Now, I support people as much as I can, like family and stuff like that, but I can't get caught up in everything. And like I said, I've had to let them know that on numerous occasions. You can kind of tell. I'm not the type of guy that they're going to think, oh, hey, he's going to, oh, I can't wait till he shows up. No, they already know. Because I'm the guy that's going to say, what do the scriptures say? But that's the strength. Because again, when it does come time for judgment, all this stuff you're selling God out for, it's not, they say they're going to be throwing it in the street, begging for, save me, Lord, and it ain't going to happen. That's Matthew 7. The broad road to destruction, that's why it's called destruction. This is Gag. God bless.